I put it? It was like, what do you care about them? What do you care about those people? What difference does it make to you? Take care of your own life. Do the best you can for you and your family. What do the rest of the people mean to you? They don't mean anything to you. They're just serfs. They're just people. You know, what's the end goal? The end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society. They want a one-world government controlled by them. Everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip.
Welcome, welcome, Rise Above family. Tonight, bringing you in with the intro, Mr. Oma Beats. Let us know how we're sounding. Big up everybody in the chat room. This is your host, Double LMC, Andy PG and Toe. Different flavour tonight. Let us know how we're sounding, Rise Above family. It's Friday night. Share the stream, spread the link. Yes. Let us know how we're sounding. It's Oma Beats, Double LMC, Andy PG, Rise Above, baby. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Big up Ramen the writer. Big up Stupid Poohead. Big up Yoji33. Big up Marcus. Big up Sasha English. Big up Chop the Dog. Georgie Golden. Yo, listen.
Access the path. Open up your mind. Come step into the light. You may get the answer that you've always tried to find. Open up your mind. The rest will follow in time. Access the sound from this movement that started on the ground.
Good evening.
Now it's every week, every city, every town. The answer to the questions always come around. Access the star to your eardrum, then it tingles down your spine. Slave to the rhythm when you feel the bass line. You don't need to question something that makes you feel fine. Access the drop, shout for the reload, pull it back, stop. Jump up, skank down, Aggie that walk. Get the answer to the question when you hear this one drop.
Original song, Bang to Rights. That's Oma Beats, Double LMC, and the Architect. Original sound inside tonight. We're going on the pirate radio tip. It's Rise Above. What you saying? How's everybody feeling this Friday night? Let's have some fun. Operation Antarctica. Big up Inner Guardians. Coming up soon.
Many might only walk the road that they know.
Big up Sniper Tongue on the vocals.
Always avoid the ones that they don't.
Oma Beats live in the mix tonight.
Oh, why? We'll never look back. Cause I know my life ain't worth 2 times on that track.
Big up Johnny Glavin. One false move, somebody get hurt. Big up MC Manic, my brethren. It's Rise Above, it's Friday night, share the stream, 97 people tuned in. Yes. Big up Martin Edwards, hang tight all the regulars. One false move, somebody get hurt. Yo, it's Rise Above on a Friday night, we're back to split. One false move, somebody get somebody get hurt. Big up Johnny Glavin, my brother. Big up Zero Dragon. It's just the introduction, guys. We got 100 people tuned in.
Access the path. Open up your mind, come step into the light. You may get the answer that you've always tried to find. Open up your mind, the rest will follow in time. Access the sound from this movement that started underground. Now it's every week, every city, every town. The answer to the questions always come around. Access the star to your eardrum, then it tingles down your spine. Slave to the rhythm when you feel the bass line. You don't need to question something that
Big up
makes you
Inner
feel
Guardians,
fine.
welcome, welcome.
Access the drop, shout for the reload, pull it back, stop. Jump up, skank down, Aggie that
Big up
walk.
the Empress, hang tight the presenter, the
when you hear
producer.
this one drop.
It's Friday night, it's Rise Above. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Big up Keduami Yassini, hang tight with the Bristol crew. I, brother. Hang tight with the Rasta Massive, tuned in, locked on. It's Double LMC, Andy PG, it's Rise Above. Right, big up Oma Beats, thank you very much for the intro, bruv. Lovely. Welcome, welcome everybody. Let's have some feedback. How does everybody like that as a start to the show? Andy PG, how you doing, bruv?
Yeah, I'm all good, my man. How's it going on?
Oma Beats, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very good. Put your camera up so we can see you
Good
there.
evening, Rise Above family.
I would like to welcome everyone. I would like to
Taking this
introduce you
mouse, lads.
guys.
I'm taking
Yeah,
the
take the
mouse.
mouse away
Taking
from me,
the
right?
mouse.
Because I'm taking a back seat tonight, guys. Oma Beats over here. Let's give this man some credit. Rise Above was his original idea. How many years ago did you tell me to do the podcast?
But then I bottled it.
He bottled it.
I didn't really.
Well, anyway, he's been with us.
Then I got enlisted.
Yeah, he's been with us every single week in spirit because all of the sounds that you ever hear on Rise Above every week are all produced by either
Me.
Oma Beats.
Magic's has done a couple.
Oh no, what have you just done to my camera, Mush?
I'll give Magic some credit for some stuff. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
dear.
Sometimes
Oh,
it's
dear.
like every
Right,
single
we've had a
day.
bit of an issue there because we've jogged the thing. I need to right, hold the stream, everyone. One sec. We need
Hold
to
tight, guys. We need
need to
to.
get our camera sorted. Right, we apologise, guys. We had a little problem there, but we're back. We're back. Can everyone hear us? Let us know how we're
Excellent.
sounding. We jogged
hear
the
me
camera. Right,
properly?
we've got to be very careful. We don't jog that camera. Right, we are back. I apologise for that. I will hand this mouse over to you. Right, hang tight, everyone in the chat room. Remember, we've got Oma Beats tonight. Say hello again, Oma Beats.
Hey, how you doing?
In the corner, mixing up the tunes.
In the
So
corner as usual.
tonight, whenever we have a break, we're not going to be playing videos and stuff like that. We're actually going to have Oma Beats spinning some tunes. It's Friday night. You know, we need to get back to normal. We need to start enjoying ourselves again, raising the vibration, etc., etc., etc. Big up everyone tonight. What is it about, Andy?
Antarctica.
Operation
Big
Antarctica. Can we say hello to Inner Guardians? Inner Guardians, how are you doing?
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear
Are
me
you-
okay?
Yeah, you sound great. Are you at the off-grid dojo?
Yes, I am tonight, yeah. But I will be going in and out, so I'll be in and off the camera to see you now.
That's no problem whatsoever. One sec.
I need the decks for the mic to work. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes,
I can.
yes. Okay,
Excellent.
I'll leave that turned up. I apologise.
No
We've got
worries,
an
mate.
extra
Yeah,
level of entertainment tonight with the decks in the corner and Oma Beat. So bear with us, guys.
It's another little plug-in he's got to work with.
Big up Yoji33. He says hi to Master Lee. Hang tight, Sasha English. Danny Morelli, you're a new one. Rise Above. Yeah, we had some tech problems, mate. It happens all the time. The denying force every week tries to strike us down. Isn't that right, in the Guardians?
Yeah, it's probably my fault. Sorry.
Do you reckon you brought that along with you?
We've had it
Possibly,
from time.
No, yeah, we've had it. Like Oma Beat says, we've had it since day one. So
Antarctica, Operation Antarctica.
well, we've got normal business to get through first, obviously.
Of course,
right? So
of course.
can you share the screen for me? Remember, you're doing the controlling tonight. I'm just going to sit back because I've had a tough week. The denying force has been up against me. Haven't really had a lot of time to think about the show tonight, so I've left it to the team to do the prep. Press share screen, mate.
There we go.
Share screen, and you want to share screen 2. That's the one. Share it with audio. Nah, get rid of that. So, in the Guardians, while we're sorting this out, why don't you give us a little roundup of how you think the last week's gone with the denying force manifesting itself in the mainstream media? What you making of what you've seen this week?
Well, it's a mixture. There's been all kinds of things from almost light entertainment all the way through to, well, serious crimes, as in, people
And some
losing their lives.
serious mockery there's been this week. Serious mockery.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Light entertainment all the way through to serious crimes.
Yeah, it's literally been that over the last week at least. A lot of the predictions have seemed to be materializing.
At a rapidly increasing rate, I would say.
Yeah. Well, we're hitting a critical mass shortly, so it's to be expected.
And when you say critical mass, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think I've got my own theories, and it's partially linked to what we're going to be discussing tonight. It may not suit everybody, but
that's all good.
My theory.
And sheep of knowledge, we will be talking about Tanzania tonight. Yes, because that's coming up. That's under this week's news at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Let's share that screen again, Andy PG, and hold that thought in the Guardians because we have got some topics from the week. Let's scroll down a little bit. Why is it doing that? So let's get past the Rise Above fundraiser. Yeah, if you want to send me some money to help with my fight against the Soviet Union, we all know about that. We'll talk about that later. Let's go down. So, big up this. Someone got a special Rise Above Friday coffee today from the coffee shop. Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, so that's I think our friend Millie works
there. Our team member.
Yeah, our team member.
Millie Bite Size. Bite Size. Yeah, Bite Size. Millie Bite Size. She's what's the word when you make a barista?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And another Rise Above viewer went in, bought coffee. She got a special Rise Above coffee. Right, okay. Let's do this week's news in order. Who knows about this? Andy PG?
This one's a shady one. So the executive office requires the immediate appointment of an advertising contractor to build on and continue to deliver a multimedia advertising campaign on COVID-19. The contract duration is for 2 years, commencing 1st of April 2021. The maximum budget is £2 million exclusive. So, but what's important there is, guys, it's commencing on April 1st, 2021, April Fool's Day, and it's for 2 fucking years.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, have we not heard enough?
So
about have we not had enough of an advertising campaign already?
Months ago, we shared the document from the World Bank, which stated that they were.
World Trade Commission,
whatever
WTC.
They were going to do was going to end on the 31st of March 2025.
Yeah.
So we're already in 2021. That's another 2 years of it. So that's 2023.
Yeah. So I guess this is just the next 2 years. Then there'll be a new advertising campaign in 2023, I guess. So yeah, who knew about that? That's been passed this week. I shared this one. I really like this. I'll share that screen. Andy PG, can you control the bloody screen, please? Stop.
Sorry, you did just take them out.
I know. Share the screen. Right. So, shake hands, gather in groups, swap microbes, and build immunity. Save lives. But I guess this really goes for people that aren't vaccinated because you don't want to be swapping microbes for people that have got a Schwabian spreader technology inside there. Really?
Apparently not. No.
Apparently not. Apparently that's not good. So where's the source? 300,000 years of being a human. That's where this information came from.
You're going to mention about the leaky vaccines, or is that?
Well, I think I'd actually like to hand that over to you because I've actually just touched on that. The AstraZeneca thing, and I'm not going to put any slides on the screen, Lee, because I know, as you know, the algorithm will pick them up. So we'll speak in our lingo. But yeah, so the glorious gift from God, which is what AstraZeneca means in Latin. What is your understanding of that, what you saw this week in the Guardians?
Well, there's more and more information coming out each week or each day even. And it appears that the vaccines that they're giving, or the cure that they're giving, makes you into a petri dish of new strains and new toxins, which you're not immune to. Yeah. So you're not. It doesn't prevent you from getting anything. It doesn't stop you from giving it. So, what do you get? You get a certificate.
And that's the definition of a leaky vaccine. It's something that doesn't actually stop you from contracting it. It just means you're less likely to be hospitalized, but you can still pass it on to everyone else.
Yeah, but also you develop new strains, so your body becomes
an incubator.
An incubator, yeah.
Awesome. So
It's
potentially
going to be kind of flipped. It's inverted. So those that think they're safe are actually going to be the dangerous ones.
Yeah, and that would sort of fit. I mean, I haven't got any proof or slides of this, but I've heard from a reliable source that RT reported this week that the countries that have halted the vaccine from the glorious gift from God around the world are also saying that if you have taken it, you won't be able to travel there. Now that begs the question: why would you not be allowed to go to the country that has halted that glorious cure just because it's inside you, unless you were actually, like you say, an incubator spreading it to other people? So, yeah, not good. Next slide, please, Andy PG, because we don't want to dwell on the COVID Union too much this week. We're going to have a bit of fun.
Oh.
So, right, yeah, let's talk about this quickly. This came in this week. I could start talking about why this has come in and the event that's happened, the 33 killing of Mrs. Sarah Everard. I'm going to be honest, guys. I found out so much about that. I need to properly compile it, and I reckon we can make a whole show. I have some. I came across some pretty startling stuff, which I have to be actually probably very careful about releasing, because if I'm right about what happened to her, if I start blubbering my mouth, then I could be putting myself at risk. So I really want to get to the bottom of it before I talk about that. But anyway, the result is a new policing bill, and if I'm right, I've looked at it. That basically means there's a maximum 10 years prison sentence for public disorder, i.e., protesting. So obviously,
I read it's like a £2,500 fine just for speaking on a megaphone.
Yeah, well, I'm facing £10,000 fine for speaking on a megaphone, and I've spoke to my lawyer. I'm allowed to talk. I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, I'm facing a £10,000 fine for telling the truth on a bench about the COVID Union,
if they can.
If they can. So under Priti Patel's law, I could have been facing 10 years in prison for what I did. And I didn't even say much. I didn't even really, like, it wasn't the Serco speech. I basically just said they're taking our rights away, and then they bundled me in the back of a van. So, yeah, that's not good. So everyone that's going to protest tomorrow, be careful, guys. There are going to be infiltrators there. There's going to be APs, agent provocateurs. There's going to be instigators. There's going to be Soros agents. There's going to be
Antifa.
Radicalized teenagers shouting about trans rights and BLM and Antifa, and everyone needs to be really careful about what they get caught up in.
There's going to be gender tension because of the what the media's just puked out the last couple of weeks over this murder.
Yeah. No, who was it a minute ago? Someone, the sheepdog. Tanzania. Mr. What's his name? Magalufi, this guy.
So yeah, this guy went missing allegedly.
Let's start the story. Why is he gone missing?
He rejected the world. I was going to say the World Economic Forum, but basically it's
Wuhan,
the Wuhan Health Organization. And just as a little bit of side note, this guy is not a member of the World Economic Forum. Okay, he's not a member.
So what did he also do? He famously on camera he got the PCR test.
He
tested
did a papaya,
the pawpaw,
the goat.
As he calls it, the pawpaw.
A goat.
We call it a papaya. Yeah, he tested some engine oil.
Yeah, that's right. And he put names on them, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like it was people sent it off, and they all came back positive for COVID-19.
This clip here, right? When I first got this, and I should have screenshotted it. This article was literally sponsored by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It said it in the corner. And what does it say? It is time to rein in Tanzania's anti-vax president.
So they labelled him anti-vax.
He's an anti-vaxxer, right?
Denier.
What is wrong with John Magufuli? Yeah, so they're against him. They've been against him since day one. Hardly surprising. This dude's been telling the truth consistently, and obviously, we
told all his citizens not to wear masks, didn't he?
Yeah,
he actually told them.
He's like, "Don't." It's a satanic takeover by a cult paedophile or something like that. That's what he said.
Wow. So next slide, please. Here we go. Speculation grows over missing COVID denying president of Tanzania.
So this is the 10th of March. The guy went missing. Speculation grows. He's been missing. The president goes missing.
I mean, how does that even happen? The president of a country goes
The security
missing.
Services, his close advisors don't know where he is. He's gone missing, right? So what's the explanation? What could have possibly happened to him?
I mean, the first place I'd look is in Hillary Clinton's back garden. Next one. Tanzania's president dies age 61 after COVID rumors.
COVID rumors?
I mean,
what? A rumor of going missing? How is going missing a COVID rumor? What are you saying about this in the Guardians? Is this a bit fishy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very sad. But
It is very sad. Apparently, this guy was very progressive.
So who's he been replaced with? He's been replaced by the vice president, who is a member of what, Lance?
The World Schwabian Forum.
No.
Yeah, WF. I should have had a slide for that guy. If I had more time, I'd have all these slides. Yeah, Jamie,
get
get it. So this guy has been labelled, and some people won't like this, the Trump of Africa. He was apparently about to lead Tanzania out of the third world and into the developed world through Pan-Africanism, through capitalism, and he wasn't playing the game. And what happens when you don't play the game of the dark occultists?
You get suicided.
Well, you generally either have a heart attack or you swing from a doorknob.
John
Magalufy replacement. But just to show you who he's been replaced with, because obviously this guy was totally against vaccines, totally against Max vaccinating, guinea pigging his whole population. Here we go.
One second. Keep talking,
Lance. Yeah, so this is not the first African president that's been taken out. We've also had the president of Burundi, who 1 week after kicking the Wuhan hoax organization out of the country, he died of a heart attack. Oh, I had it on my Facebook. Oh, you just got a picture of Schwab.
So I'm just gonna pull this.
Yeah, put it over there.
Here. So her name.
It does look like a Schwab.
Where is she? Keep talking, Lance. We're gonna find her.
She's got an Islamic name.
We'll find her.
There's no black women on there. But yeah, so anyone can find this. The most progressive leader in Africa, an actual person who's actually was probably a bit of a Gaddafi. That's what people reckon Gaddafi was like. Gone, finished. Placed with a stooge. There she is. That's her. Samia Suluhu. She is a puppet of Lord Schwab. Lord Schwab has got his finger directly up her sphincter, puppeting her like this. She's just a puppet.
So yeah, she's a member of the World Economic Forum, which is no
surprises there.
No surprise. So unfortunately,
another one bites the dust. Is that another good African leader bites the dust?
I mean, was that the only only nation leader in the world who was openly saying
no?
This is...
No, obviously there was the dude from Belarus, Madagascar.
Yeah, we don't hear anything about him. What's going on there?
Well, George Soros funded a colour revolution to overthrow him. He'd been in power for 25 years. I'd never heard about a problem with Belarus's leader until he said, "We are not doing."
Oh, Lance, look at this.
Oh dear, what's this?
It says it's got the headline. Oh, wait, there we go. Set to be the president of Tanzania until 2025.
Oh, what a surprise!
What a surprise!
Good find. This is why I need you on the Jamie. Keep me away from that mouse. Keep me away from it.
So, like we said earlier, the World Bank document said it's going to end in 2025.
Just a coincidence, comrades. Nothing to see here. Please move along, ignorant peasants. Nothing to see here.
Come on.
Big up Clara Warren. You never sent me money for those 2 T-shirts. Andy PG's wearing your medium red.
Got it on.
I've still got one medium red for you, Clara. If you want the T-shirt, please send me the WhatsApp. PayPal. Right, back to our slideshow. What we got next?
1 second.
And we will get down to our Antarctica soon, guys. I just had to speak about what's going on this week.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right. So
have we got Magics?
I think, yeah. I've sent him the link. Magix.
He said he's listening. Magix.
Can we assemble the team? Where's Word Nerd? Where's Magix?
I think Magix has got probably the most to input on this because.
Right. Well, let's start with the facts. Right. Let's start with the official story of what Antarctica is. Okay. So I'd like you to Jamie this. Get a little search up because Antarctica. What are the official facts? And we need.
It's a big load of ice, mate.
Right. And we also need to have a look at the map of some of the places of what they called in Antarctica, start getting a feel for the backstory here. Right. So.
Straight out Wiki, guys.
Oh, look. Yes.
Okay.
Here we go. Welcome.
So we've just had Admiral Bird Nerd.
At just the right time he appears. Here he is.
Good evening, Admiral Bird Nerd.
Admiral Bird Nerd, how you doing?
Good evening, everyone.
There we go. There he is.
Sounded good, mate. Mate, you've dropped in at just the right time. We're just starting to talk about Operation Antarctica. I love the get up. Let's have a look at Word Nerd's get up. What's he got on this week? Oh, he's got the whole Explorer get up. That's what I'm talking about. Right, so Word Nerd, if I'm right in thinking, you've been digging into what is called Operation High Jump. Yeah.
I've been digging on Bird generally.
Okay, Admiral Byrd, for anyone that doesn't
Yeah.
know, is a post-World War II American general, or admiral, sorry, who was in charge of Operation High Jump. Right now, Andy's going to get it up on the screen. Give us a little synopsis about what you know about Operation High Jump, mate.
Actually, I haven't gone that far in on the high jump itself. High jump was the second exploration.
I mean, I think all of our viewers are going to be pretty up to date with high jumps. Just give a quick overview, word nerd, mate.
High jump. High jump was between 1946 and 1947. So high jump was after the Second World War. But interestingly, when I was digging on Bird, the more interesting stuff was a lot of the stuff before that. He was in the Navy.
Give us a background to this guy.
Okay, so quick synopsis, Bird nerd facts. He was born in 25th of October in 1888, and by the age of 24 in 1912, he was a graduate of the US Naval Academy. In the 1920s, he was actually instrumental in establishing a bill at Capitol Hill for the Bureau of Aeronautics, as it was to become called, for the US Navy. This is all in the 1920s. 1926 first expedition to the North Pole, although it's disputed if he was indeed the first person, but there's no doubt that he went. 1927 first multi-engine flight, and by 1928 he was already writing his first book called Skyward. So in 1928 is where it gets interesting. That was the first expedition to the Antarctic on the flagship ship, which was called the City of New York. But this ship was actually called the Samson before, which on another dig is rumored to have been around when the Titanic went down.
Oh, interesting link there.
So there's an interesting link there. His history is even more interesting. In 1934, there was the second Antarctic expedition. They were doing live radio transmissions from Antarctica and then broadcasting across the whole of the continental United States in 1928.
Wait a minute, hold on. Broadcasting from Antarctica?
Yeah, they were doing live radio transmissions from Antarctica, according to, and this was a mainstream guy from the National Science Foundation. That's the source for that, called Guy Guthridge, who was doing a talk praising Admiral Byrd and his achievements, and they said that this was in 1928, live radio transmissions from Antarctica, and they broadcast that across the States, which I thought was kind of amazing. I didn't know they were doing that early on. He's got a Navy cargo ship, a guided missile destroyer, and a lunar crater named after him. So there's that.
After Admiral Byrd.
After Admiral Byrd, yeah. Oh, sorry, not to forget the Byrd Polar Research Center of Ohio State. Have you still got me?
Yes, absolutely. We're just getting a map up of Antarctica.
We've just had a little bit of denying force, actually.
Yeah, a little tweak there. It's the longest I've talked for ages, that's why. So the Byrd Polar Research Center in Ohio State is still one of the pioneering research centers for the Antarctic. But the most interesting stuff about him is his ancestry. So he goes back, you can trace his ancestry back to 1688, and they were all not only really wealthy families, but when they came over to America, they were property owners on the James River in Virginia, and then they owned a plantation. And then one of the Byrds, William Byrd I, went on to found the city of Richmond. So quite a lot of influence historically. This is before we even get to him being a Freemason. This might even explain why he was a Freemason. He was very well connected. And this is all mainstream. Right.
Okay.
So his family married into the Flood family, which I was going to ask Magix about, another wealthy family. And that was in.
So he's not just no normal admiral, mate. He's not a normal admiral. He's got a proper like esteemed background in the aristocracy, in traveling the world. Right. The reason we're just trying to rabbit hole is look at this map of Antarctica. This is what gets
this is just on Google Maps.
There's literally Rothschild Island, yeah, and Rothschild Island is almost at the entrance as you come down.
Next door to Alexander Island, which is a lot bigger. I wonder who Alexander is.
Yeah, right. Sorry, carry on, Admiral Byrd nerd.
Yeah, when Byrd was exploring, he actually named one of the Birdland. I've forgotten what they called it. Something named after him, but he named it after his wife that he met, which is interesting. They seem to do that a lot, the elites, because Monsanto is actually named for a Miss Monsanto that the guy fell in love with. That was a woman called Mrs. Monsanto. That was her surname. Anyway.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I found that on the dig for Bill Gates last week, and I didn't know that. But he fell in love with a Mrs. Monsanto, or a Miss Monsanto.
Lots of overlapping information.
Yeah, so I won't
Again,
go down
guys,
that
there are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The interesting thing is because a lot of the things I tried to rabbit hole on, the exciting things, didn't lead to much. So not that I don't think there's anything to look at there, but I think Bird's a bit of a distraction there potentially. I
so
couldn't
you
find
think
anything.
the whole story might be a bit of a distraction?
Well, the diary entry that supposedly where he says that there's a green land in the Antarctic is very shaky. It's not and correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't had loads of time. My keyboard's broken. Research is slow on this end. So I want anyone to correct me. I want to be the last one to debunk it, but it looks like a very shaky guy who claims to have, it doesn't even present any evidence he even knew Bird producing this diary entry. There's nothing in Bird's diary entries, although I haven't read them, ostensibly, that it's talking about UFOs. And the UFO quote was based on a comment he made about ships being able to go pole to pole. But that is one quote from one Chilean newspaper from one reporter. And if that one line is misquoted, it changes the whole context of the phrase. So that was disappointing because I was hoping for alien there. So it might have to go down another route for that. But what's not denied is that he was this incredibly powerful guy. He was very influential, writing letters to Roosevelt. He would send apples to celebrities, and he was known to be friends with all of the industrialists.
So he's an elitist. He's an elitist.
Yeah, and he was the first guy there, and he did say that there was going to be a huge military importance in the Antarctic. He said that was inevitable. He said it's strategically important, and he was saying that leading up to World War II, that we've got to have a military presence there. He said there was a reservoir of untapped resources, including coal, enough to supply the world for some time, oil, and even uranium. But he didn't want to say too much because he didn't want to encourage a race. But he said it was inevitable that there was going to be a rush on Antarctica. So that's interesting because it looks like he's going to scout it, in essence, potentially for the industrialists. He was the first man to go and check it out for them. So that was interesting. But honestly, there's you could do almost, I don't think it would be worth it, but you could almost do a whole episode on Bird. I've got a ton of notes here on his ancestry.
This is what everybody knows. This is the story that everybody knows about Antarctica. Well, this guy went there with what was apparently an exploratory mission, but it was actually quite clearly a military mission. It had frigates, platoons of soldiers, and this was after World War II had finished there. So look at some of these pictures we got here. This is the kind of sort of, no, that's a Nazi thing. So the backstory is that what were they going there for, and why did they come back? Because the expedition ended very quickly. This is Admiral Byrd's own word. They found an opposing force there that was apparently, am I paraphrasing? They were technologically advanced. This is what Admiral Byrd said, and we basically had to retreat. Yeah. So, right. So this is on Amazon. Is this a documentary?
Well, they're quite open about this. I mean, Joe Rogan talks about Admiral Byrd quite a lot, doesn't he? I mean, this is very mainstream. So
that's why we wonder if it is a cover story
or just a diversion. Again, they like to give us just a little bit of info, the truth, don't they? And then just, the rest.
The truth is shit. Sorry. Yeah, and it's definitely like the truth is rooted there. He definitely went. There was definitely almost like an arms race to Antarctica. We know that the Nazis went, although I haven't dug on the extent of the Nazi operations. But there was definitely a rush on Antarctica. He did say there was undiscovered land. And the Operation High Jump was a private expedition, which I didn't know. They've really publicised it as this big public expedition.
It was a private expedition?
Yeah, who financed it?
And I don't know who financed it, but what I do know is Byrd was retired from the active duty from the Navy, I think due to his ankles, but then they brought him in as retired from active duty, but then they brought him in to lead one of the operations. And that sounds like, I'm not an expert, a way the military can move people around. So he's officially retired, but then he's able to come back as a retired admiral and lead this fleet. And it was a private expedition.
Good evening, Magics, in the chat.
Good evening, Magic. Good evening, Milski Van Helsing. He's saying, talk about the Piri Reis map. Don't worry,
it's all
Magix is coming with the maps. We've got another section coming up. Right now, we've got Word Nerd, aka Admiral Byrd Nerd. He's given us a bit of extra information about this very famous Operation High Jump, this military exploration expedition to Antarctica after World War II in the mid to late 50s, which is quite famous. And Admiral Byrd, if anyone, I'm not going to play it now because I don't want a copyright strike. The interview, he says, we went there, we encountered an opposing force. And who was the opposing force? Who's in Antarctica? Who lives there? Who's got a military in Antarctica?
You know who with the moustache.
Well, not officially. There's officially no one in Antarctica.
It's just science people, and people observatories. And
Big up everybody in the chat room. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Let's have a little go back on some of the comments. Big up Inner Guardians. Have you got any thoughts on what we said so far on the on this official story of this Operation High Jump? I mean, do you buy this, or do you think it's some sort of opposing force?
Here we go.
Illusion?
Sorry to butt in. Sorry, guys. Woke Realist has got a good comment here. Show the video where he went on TV saying more land. All of a sudden, the treaty was made.
Right, you Jamie, that one. Inner Guardians.
Is that when Admiral Byrd said there was like a land beyond the
whole
land,
continent,
and then all of a sudden they made the treaty so no one can go there? Is that what?
He said there was an unexplored area of Antarctica, I think, beyond it, that was as large as the Americas, that was unexplored, and it was just baffling to him that hadn't been explored yet, and it was probably full of resources. Yeah, and that's where a lot of the quotes are being taken from. But he didn't necessarily say Greenland. Go on, Lee.
No, I was just going to say that's my understanding of the research I've done on Admiral Byrd. There's a video of him, although it's not as easy to get hold of because there used to be loads of videos of that interview.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we might have found one here.
That's interesting because I thought it seems like we've only got the first 5 minutes, and the first 5 minutes are really powerful. That's when he's quite excited and he's talking about how important it's going to be, how all the industrial powers should be clambering to go there. But then I can't find the rest of the interview, or I haven't been able to in the 2 days I've been looking at it.
Right, we found something. One sec. Let's see what we got here.
I'm not going to play too much at a time because you're not a copyright strike here.
It's time for the Longines Chronoscope. Co-editors for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope. Larry Lasser, CBS News correspondent.
United States that's never been seen by a human being.
Here we go.
This is it.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world...
Is there any unexplored land, the North American continent? He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans.
Just pause it there for a few seconds, guys.
So this is the original interview when he's come back from Operation High Jump, and this was his official debriefing to the public. Yeah, let's get it right.
Yeah. So this was obviously staged, and they had a script. This was deliberately staged. Look, I'm not sure. I think this is obviously what's just been presented to the public, isn't it?
I would say so.
Shit. So I'll just
Unexplored land left. Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today.
So he says yes.
The North. Well, he says the North Pole's full.
Yeah,
but yes,
crowded,
there is
getting crowded in the North Pole. A lot of penguins, guys.
An area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
So what he's saying is there's an area the size of North America unexplored.
But we're led to believe in the official history that it's just one massive ice sheet. So why would you bother to explore it if it's just ice, right?
Well, he hasn't actually said it's land, though, has he? He said there's an area.
Yeah. But
he did say they asked him, is there any areas of land which is left to explore? And he said yes. Yeah. So he said he's not. So let's just continue to see what he says.
It's a tremendous.
So there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Well, Admiral, do you hope to see that?
I do.
Well, Admiral, would you say that since you've been to both the extremities of Earth, are these expeditions to such far-off places, are they getting easier because of modern techniques, or is danger still close at hand?
Well, it's a little risky, but nothing like it used to be with the old slow planes and the small cruising radius where we had.
So, guys, sorry, I have to keep stopping now, otherwise we're going to get a copyright strike.
It seems very scripted to me.
I mean, he's a top Mason though as well. Freemason,
as you would expect.
Put down.
Yeah, it's worth having a look at his grave.
What was that word, no?
He had a grave which was, I think, paid for by the government, with an upside down star on it. And then he also had a memorial built in the shape of a pyramid for him after his death. So his gravestone and the memorial, yeah, heavy Mason symbology, but it's difficult where to place it with the time. But yeah, it's definitely a very
so
high level Mason.
the mark of the dark occultist is built into his legacy, basically.
And of course,
I don't know much about the Masons of the time, but I would imagine so.
But now the planes go much faster and they are safer, and they have a much bigger cruising radius. You haven't got the danger of a terribly heavy load.
Admiral, an expedition to which I believe you're the advisor is now en route. What is that expedition doing?
Well, that's the icebreaker Atka, and it's a reconnaissance expedition. It's going down to the South Pole area.
So they're talking about an ice-breaking ship, yeah, big, huge ice-breaking boat which can go through. Doesn't matter if there's like big chunks of ice, you can just plow through it.
Yeah, to make certain observations and to look for some bases. They will be back in April, and they will report back. And upon the information we get from that undertaking, we will base the bigger expedition that's to follow.
Is that very definitely planned, or is that...
that is being planned right now. So I'm willing to say to you that there will be a number of expeditions that will follow, I think, year after year.
They will follow, a number of expeditions that have been going on every year since this happened.
World War II got in the way of that, supposedly. But that's where it gets interesting. He is the setup before World War II, and that's when these expeditions, they said they were going to be permanent, just all wrapped up because of World War II. But obviously then we have evidence of the Nazis jumping over. So it's interesting crossover.
Maybe it was something to do with a race to get to what was in Antarctica. Right. Or to use Antarctica as an escape.
We'll come to that later.
Remember, we have another view about Antarctica from the one and only Godvag.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will be dropping the Godvag, the Godvag view very soon, because we've got to have all different elements of the story. Remember,
absolutely.
Because the government has really become interested.
Well, Admiral Byrd, I can understand. I think everybody can, the interest in the North Pole, because it's so near our greatest challenger, Soviet Russia. But why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody lives.
Lance has just pointed out how big Admiral Byrd's head is.
It wasn't me. It was 08.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon.
Look at the question. Right, Inner Guardians, there's a question here for you on the screen. He says, ask Inner Guardians if Admiral Byrd's giant skull is because he has immense psychic power, or is he just an alien hybrid?
Wow.
Look at that. Rewind a little bit. His skull is massive.
Yeah.
What's it called? Homo capensis, with the big skulls. That's what they're actually called. He does look a bit Homo capensis.
Look at that. I was just looking at that, actually.
Did you notice that, Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, Omar Beach is just chiming in, says it could be the camera angle.
Well, let it play. Turn the volume off and let it play.
The world. Nobody living down there, is there?
No, it's...
So, Inner Guardians, you said you've had this thought as well?
Yeah, I mean, it does look a bit strange, but yeah, it's difficult to tell with the quality of the camera.
A bit like the T-foul man with the huge head.
Yeah, I mean that
shot of him there makes him look like he has got a long shape head, slightly different to a human skull shape.
It does. Well, yeah.
It might, but that could be his 50s haircut though.
Maybe he's just very clever and he has actually got a massive head.
T-foul.
Good spot anyway. 04 Dragon. Let's turn that back up. All right.
It has to do with the future of the nation, those to come after us, or even during your lifetime, because it happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources. And, as the world swings with an ever-increasing acceleration, far-flung places once useless, like we thought the North Pole was, and no man's land, become very useful. The bottom of the world will be important, not only to us, but to our allies.
I was going to add...
See what he said there? The bottom of the world will become important, not only to us, but also to our allies. What does that really mean? Because when you're speaking from America, back then, America doesn't speak and our allies. It's just like America first. It'll be, we're obviously number one in the world, America, fuck yeah, and all that. It seems a bit strange that he says and our allies.
Who are the allies?
Yeah.
He was trying to create the Atlantic Treaty. He was quite pioneering in that. So I think
what's that word?
That. Sorry, he was quite pioneering in the formation of the Atlantic Treaty. One thing I didn't mention earlier, his brother, because when they married into the Flood family, he had a brother called Harry Flood, who was a senator in Virginia and an internationalist, and he was instrumental in helping Byrd get a lot of these, and quite open about it, getting these things through the Senate and stuff like that. So I think he was instrumental, Byrd and a few others, because he was known, even the mainstream historians say, he had a massive amount of influence over the industrialists. He would write to them letters. He would send them apples, because one of their old family lines had an apple company, and he would write them hand-typed letters. And he had a amount of influence on them. When they couldn't get the money to do the Operation High Jump, they ended up fundraising 300,000 back then in 3 or 4 days, because Admiral Byrd started hitting the phones and calling all his friends. So huge amount of influence. He was using that internationally while making friends with policy decision makers to try and form this Atlantic Treaty, as I understand it anyway. That's what he was trying to do. So he was quite instrumental in that. So the Allies speech, he talks a lot about uniting for peace in there. So whatever his trip was, it was a big part of his selling point.
Mate, you've had a serious dig into this guy, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, the mainstream stuff was a bit more fascinating than the other stuff I couldn't hang any evidence on, although I'm going to go down.
So maybe I think there's a lot more than meets the eye to this guy. He's not just an admiral that was sent there. The more you're telling me, it's like he just seems like one of these characters that's inserted into the narrative to play the role.
Yeah, I mean, still an explorer. There's no doubt that he did these things.
He was still an explorer, yeah. Sir Francis Bacon and all those people, they were explorers too. Yeah. Some of the most influential cabal, or whatever you want to call it, Illuminati characters throughout history. Sir Francis Bacon, Cortez, Columbus. This is basically a Columbus character, yeah?
Yeah, first one there, the pioneer, yeah.
I don't know if you remember what I mentioned last week about the people that have aimed at the
horizontalists.
Yeah, horizontalists. Yeah, so they tend to have a desire to explore, so that they can obviously capture as much land as possible.
But explore the outer rather than explore within.
Yeah, but also they explore like in the 3D realm.
Physical.
3D explorers.
Yeah, they're land grabbing.
It's essentially reptilian.
Yeah.
In our complex. Stuck in our complex, the brain just hoarding.
Yeah, I mean, my take on the whole thing is a little bit, maybe slightly different with regards to what Antarctica actually is, but I'm going to sit back a little bit and...
please don't hold back, because, mate, Lee, last week we hoarded you right until the last hour, so please don't hold back. Let's mix the show up and let's not be too formulaic, because in a minute I'm going to show Godvag and he's got a whole nother take. What is your take on Antarctica?
Well... I'm into first principles, so I would want to establish the first principles as to, what is it? What is the landscape of Antarctica? Not necessarily what's there, but does it surround us? Is it at the bottom?
Well, that's the thing. That I think that's the big question that everyone is sort of wanting us to get to. And let's just share that screen again, Angie PG. We've got Google Maps up here. We're zooming in on Rothschild Island because it's interesting that there's somewhere called Rothschild Island. Everyone knows, there's also a place called New Swabia.
Swabia.
And we couldn't find it on the map. I know it's there. We could find it in a minute. When we get the next little Oma Beat set, we'll do some more. We'll get some more Jamie in on the screen. But yeah, so what you're saying in the Guardians, first principles, what is Antarctica? What is the shape of it? This is the official shape. Okay.
Well, the problem we've got is, what tools do we actually have or possess to establish what shape it is?
Precisely.
According to this, it's right next to Australia. I had no idea until I did this dig this week that Argentina and the Falklands Islands, we're going to be coming on to this.
Oh, yeah, I've got some great info on the Falklands and what it was actually being used for.
Yeah.
The Falklands War, what it was actually being used for.
Yeah. So the producer's telling me that because we've got the special luxury of Oma Beats in the studio, it's time for a break, because we're coming up to the first hour. Yeah. We've got a lot to explore tonight. We're going to take it nice and easy. Hang tight, everyone in the chat room. Let's have some more music. Live in the studio, Oma Beats in the mix. If you're lucky, I might get on the mic in a minute. Who knows? Right, big up everyone. Hang tight, everyone in the chat room. It's the first hour of Rise Above. We're going until midnight tonight. Oh, have I put him on the spot? In the Guardians, what is Antarctica?
Good question. I mean, I've got my personal opinions from the research I've done, but I've never actually been there.
Can we hear your personal opinions in The Guardian? I'd be very interested to hear them.
Look, this is the loop. Why don't you put left?
Well, I'm more inclined to go with the barrier theory, and I think this is very largely linked to what's happening right now, because those of the horizontal persuasion, they want to.
I love that.
Well, they're all about, it's all about control. It's all about penning people in, restricting access. Personally, I think that there is lands that we don't know about, and they're trying to hide that.
Outside of our realm, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about the whole sort of geographical landscape that we're shown in the mainstream. Like I say, I question everything.
We are too. So's God, Vaj.
Yeah.
So, guys, big up Inner Guardians. Big up in Admiral Bird Nerd. Magics, we know you there in the wings. Right about now, we are going to have another little intersection of Mr. Omar Beats. We're going to have a little break, 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be back with more Operation Antarctica. It's Friday night, it's Rise Above. Omar Beats on the decks. Spin it, brother.
Here we go. This one's compliments of magic.
Yo, 1, 2. Friday night, Rise Above. Yo, listen. Friday night is Rise Above. Rise Above, MC Double L, Rise Above. Omar Beats, Rise Above. Extinguish fear when we generate. Rise Above, MC Double L, Rise Above. Omar Beats, Rise Above. Extinguish fear when we generate love. 32's in the hook. Write lyrics, I write books. 32's in the hook. I write lyrics, I write books. I ask questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis? Yo. I ask questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis. Pedo priest that are praying to Jesus. A rabbi circumcising a penis. Gesturing God, acting fiendish. Lecturing most facts. Who are the cleanest? Claiming we're equal. Acting elitist. Listen up, there's lies in this sermon. Why is that? Your liquor is vermin. It's not hard to determine. Rise up and be wise like a serpent. Don't prey on the saviour's serpents. They're peddling burden. Indoctrination is different to learning. Yo, on my beats, spin it. Big up all the Rise Above crew. This is how we do it. For your whole life, you have been flooded by the music and the vibrations. Dark occultists. We are light occultists. Yeah. Yo, enter my crater. Double L, I'm a big creator. Are you a reactor or a creator? I'm coming live from the crater. Bigger, louder, better. Yo, it's Double L, you've heard of me. The flow's poisonous, liquid mercury. Hear my voice when I curse the beat. I let it moisten up and then it's surgery. Guilty as charged, repeat offender. Revealing elitist agenda. To the lodge, delete the data. Success or defeat or retreat or surrender. And I can't let go. A killer artist Charlie Hebdo. A false flag with actors in tow, and they blame Islam for the media show. 2 weeks later, Copenhagen couldn't be blamed to these global pagans. These traitors feed off people hating. Nothing's changing. Guilty as charged, repeat offense. Once again, my ass is back on the bench. Omar Beats. Yo, please. Step back 2 meters while the camera scanning your facial features. Says warning, spatial breaches. Listen to the government speeches. Daily releases, you can't chill at the parks and the beaches. Essential travel, they police it. We know the rules, they need to repeat it. Is this about a virus? Is it a plot? What to control and divide us? Is it a problem, reaction, solution? A manufactured crisis? Depopulate body baggers, biometric ID taggers, Gates Foundation, vax apparatus, stinging newborn skin like a cactus. Big up all the Rise Above family. We just freestyling on a Friday night. Omar Beats, double LMC. Whoa. Yeah. Big up all the Rise Above family. Like a cultist. Yo, Omar Beats and Double L. They're like, why so serious? Why so serious? Yo, Double L. Listen. They're like, Double L, why so serious? Well, it leaves me delirious, psychic warfare and covert attacks. Infect my brain, install a fear in us. Enough of the agenda, we'll run, remember. Cradle to grave, Yo, listen. Brothers, sisters, join the resistance. This is big, we need the assistance. Hard work and a lot of persistence. Stop their plans, gonna end our existence. Throw a spanner in the works. Tell the people, fuck what you've heard. Exposing the names of the snakes that lurk. I'm killing 2 stones with 1 bird. Or 2 birds with 1 stone. Flipped it around and I made it my own. I'm exposing things that were once unknown. Once you know this shit, you can't leave it alone. It's the age of information. Info spreads like an infestation. Whether you're consciously waking or sitting back with some high grade blazing, or fresh number 4, so blessed. Better reach for the core, no stress. Put the foot to the floor. Oh, my beats settle the score, never acquiesce. Break from the source, unique with a natural force. So sleep, no time for a pause. Time for a round of applause. Stop, freeze, pause. Hold up your hands if you're down for the cause. Face, breaks, jaws. Hit the floor, get down on all fours. We rewrite laws. Spit it that sound back, wait for applause. Styles come forth. Rise above, let me hear your thoughts. Rise above, let me hear your thoughts. Rise above, let me hear your thoughts. That's right, cause double L from the land of the lost. Double L from the land of the lost. And bust the mic, just because. It's been a long time, guys. I saw everybody tuned in. I'm a beast. You spin some more beats. I'm gonna take a little break. We'll be back in a minute. Okay. All right then. More bars. What's going on then? Corona, the crown. Yo, the crown of your highness. Corona, the crown of your highness. Or the molecule. Yo, Corona, the crown of your highness. Or the molecule inside your sinus. This ain't Wuhan bronchitis. Is the act. Yo, Corona, the crown of your highness. Or the molecule inside your sinus. This ain't Wuhan bronchitis. It's the act as a medical mafia pirates. 3 million came from Obama. Dr. Fauci through Big Pharma. Move it to Wuhan, ring the alarm. It's our virus, bruv, that's karma. Bill Gates made a prediction. Event 201 is not a fiction. He said 66 million die of corona affliction. Let me spit vocal wisdom. Nothing social but a social distance. Minds are locked in mental prisons. I hope their sentence lessons. They program fear. We shine a torch on the program here. The view from my court, the program's clear. 2030's 10 more years. UN wrote the agenda of one world government. Epicentric, you're sold in, you're holding, you're saying in a blender. Double L's real, I'm not a pretender. I've studied their methods. 20 years with my head in the records. 20 years of it closely observing. Yeah, and observing. 20 years when my head's in the ground. Sound predictions are made. This time around, bruv, and my mind never swayed. We've been waiting for this day. Yeah, everyone get a drink. We'll be back in a minute. Forms red mud, are you feeling the hurt when the carnage occurs? We let the demon speak and then hang on his words. Mesmerized by the evil inside, hypnotizing all people alive, energizing the feeble demise. Life in the dungeon, extremely deprived, and it's dark in this dungeon. Around every corner, the evil's abundant. Hope is redundant. Treacherous beings, they spread the dysfunction. They feed on your soul for their lunch and get bleeding with gold or prepared for consumption. It's the ravenous huntsman. Right arm, hold your carcass, triumphant. Sound of Oma Beats and Double NMC. It's Friday night, it's Rise Above. Anti-Andy PG. Anti-Buff. Yo. Listen, one more for me. It's like Clash of the Titans, blood splash, fantasy violence, run from the harpy, the siren, the werewolf, the lion, dash for the silence. The way that I build up a lyric, same way psychics summon up spirits, spitting out words from the letters on the Ouija board. From the demons you're reaching for, evil thoughts from greasy hordes, speaking live from the other side. On the mix they move with a force. There's a few points to clarify, then want me to turn to the dark side and make a deal with a life force parasite. That's a burning appetite, observing the herd from a Death Star satellite. Them are serving the serpent, further the birth, our purpose is working. Under the watchful guise of the all-seeing eye, agents are lurking. Never tell me there's not a conspiracy. 5 billion are living the life hurting. You're not a friend to me, don't make me your enemy. We need a revolution, I'll be the first in. And I keep researching, 20 years deep and my cranium's bursting. You gotta put the work in, away from this message MCs are shirking. Nowadays everybody wanna chat, nowadays everybody wanna spit, nowadays everybody want wax, nowadays everybody wanna mix. Big up Oma Beats, rise above family. The all-seeing badge, baby. Yo, big up Oma Beats. How's everybody doing? Oh, you're gonna play one more? Okay, let's fade him out. Yo. Okay, everyone, how's it doing? How are we doing on a Friday night? Let's get Admiral Bird Nerd back in the Guardians. The whole team is assembled, apart from Magix. Magix, where you at? Everyone, let us know how you enjoy the addition to the show of having Oma Beats over there in the corner. Oma Beats, rather than some videos, rather than a YouTube video, we'll have some music.
Man, a bit of music, man, now and again is good for the soul.
It is good for the soul, absolutely. I haven't. He's not muted. No one is muted.
You can hear me.
Yeah, he just wasn't close enough.
I just wasn't close enough, that's all.
So, we are back.
Want to big up Magix on the first beat?
Yeah, Magix on the first beat. Yeah, that was heavy. Big up Magix. Where you at, mate? Jump in, because you got the maps. And tight in the Guardians and Admiral Bird Nerd. So, in the Guardians, said before the break, first principles, yeah? Let's establish the first principles. What is Antarctica? Is it a continent at the south of the Earth? Is it something that surrounds us? And I think this is where we need the VAG, don't we? We actually need the VAG perspective here.
Well, if you want the full spectrum,
we need the full spectrum, right? So, if you just type in G, because as soon as you type in G, what do you get? God VAG straight away.
Let me just throw something in.
Yeah. Let's give us a prelude, please.
You chat away.
Right. So, is everybody aware what the symbol or the logo of the Freemasons is?
The cross compass.
Yeah. So the compass. So it's all about mapping the landscape, because it's all about grids. It's all about penning people in, borders, control,
farming.
Yeah. So for me, I would see this as the limitation of our tools to actually explore something like this continent or this border. Has anybody been there?
I've never thought about this before.
Well, we go to the moon, and yet they say it's too difficult to actually do any exploration in Antarctica.
Very good point.
Yeah, look at the investment that's going to the moon.
Why do you think that would be? Why would they invest so far in getting off planet when we haven't even explored was apparently a whole landmass at the bottom of our planet?
Well, it's because they're trying to build a landscape, one that's like where we're captured. There's nowhere else to go. I don't think it's coincidental that what's taking place right now leads straight after all of the so-called Earth, or the plane, or the realm, or the globe has been explored. There's no land that we don't really know about. So now would be the great time to do what they're doing, because there's no escape. Which is why I live off grid. I explore off grid thinking. and
Yeah.
mentality. So it's all connected to this, the grid.
Yeah,
Control.
well, at the end of the day, what is the square and compass? That is what's used to map the world.
Yeah, because they're aimed horizontally. That's all. The only way they can expand is by moving horizontally and then controlling whatever they can capture. Now,
Yeah.
if there is land, which there possibly is, if we knew about it in the public domain, what would happen? We'd all try and get there.
Yeah, people would try and go there.
Yeah, and right, with what's happening right now, there is literally nowhere to go. I mean, can we name the countries where it would be useful to go at this moment in time?
To escape the Soviet Union is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
let's name
I mean, straight off the bat, I would say I know that for a fact that Cambodia at the moment has zero COVID reporting, probably because it's such a broken country already. They just haven't bothered to push it there. It's in control of trying that happen. The next on my list would probably be Russia.
Yep.
Madagascar.
Yeah, Madagascar would be nice.
Yeah, Madagascar.
Yeah, that'd be nice, I reckon.
If they haven't already assassinated that Andy Jolini, the president of Madagascar.
Yeah, but if you factor in how many countries there are, there's not many. There's literally
No, it's not. It's a handful.
Yeah, literally a handful. So this would be the perfect opportunity. Whereas if they tried to pull off anything like this, I don't know, 300 years ago, people would try and scatter. I mean, isn't that the origins of America?
Exactly. Yeah, people fleeing the sort of the aristocracy, the imperialism, the royally run hierarchy of Europe to start again and be free. That's what America was supposed to be about, wasn't it?
Yeah, the land of the free, and that's why they got so much trouble now, because there's a land grab again.
No, Bruce Townsley here has just said that New Zealand is a good place to escape to. With all due respect, Bruce, I disagree, because although New Zealand keeps reporting they're COVID free, what happens when they have a couple of cases? They've got that nutter Dernbird, and she just locks everything down. She says, "You're going to the quarantine camp." It's like,
can anybody fly there at the moment or leave there?
I'm not sure. Can anyone comment on that? Any NZ crew? I know we've got international viewers. I know we've got a big following in Germany. We've got people from down under and New Zealand. Anyone that's tuned in from Australia and New Zealand, please let us know. Can you fly in and out of New Zealand at the moment? Because
they went back into lockdown, though.
Yeah, well, I heard today.
I know they're all shouting about, oh yeah, this is how you deal with a pandemic.
Yeah, and they had one case, and they went hardcore lockdown. You're going to the internment camp if you don't have a vaccine.
Yeah, and then they've all been locked down again, I think.
Yeah, well, so much for COVID-free New Zealand. I've heard people, and
I'm not sure about that. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, and Bruce, I'm not picking on you, mate. I've heard a lot of other people make this argument. I've got to get to New Zealand. I mean, yeah, New Zealand might have low levels of apparent deaths, and it's big spaced out. But their government is hardcore COVIDs. She's talking about
she's just been re-elected again as well.
She's been re-elected
another
again.
6 years, yeah.
Move a bit closer to me, Andy PG, because we've got to get in the camera.
Yeah, sorry,
another 6 years. The scary thing, lads, about that is presumably then there's guys out there that, like us, that have refused the vaccine or would refuse the vaccine, that have been then placed into COVID camps and told that they can't leave until they get the vaccine. And we're hearing nothing about that. Because of the blockages they're putting on international messages at the moment.
Yeah,
we're not hearing about the people like us that have refused it.
With Australia, that's definitely happening with social media. They had a problem with Facebook, didn't they? Because some of our Australian viewers actually messaged me and said, we cannot share news out of our country to you guys because of this disagreement between Facebook and our government.
Really?
Yeah, this happened 2 weeks ago.
Mate, I didn't know.
Do you remember I got the pig farming story?
Yeah.
No, but basically I got a story from. No, I put this in a stream 5 streams ago, and it came from one of our down under viewers that basically, yeah, Facebook was totally limiting sharing news on Messenger.
Right.
Yeah, mental.
And people have said that we're alarmists for pointing out the empty.
Oh,
there he goes.
Can you see what he's about to say? We're alarmists for pointing out the empty hospitals, and the COVID Union just cut his stream. A perfect example in a Guardians of the Denying Force in Action, yeah?
Yeah, confirmation.
Absolute confirmation. Like Word Nerd earlier on, he was just like quoting sort of like stuff about Admiral Byrd. He spoke for 10 minutes, no problem. As soon as he said that, the little hook comes and pulls him off the stage like that.
Yeah, so if you look at the mindset of the horizontalists, it's all about designing and architecture.
Oh, there we go.
And landscaping.
The horizontalists. And for anyone that hasn't heard that term before, in the Guardians, can you explain what you mean by horizontalists?
Well, it's a mindset, and it's due to lack of essence or soul, where in order to increase or expand, you have to be aimed horizontally. Whereas people with essence or soul or higher bodies, they ascend vertically. So they're aimed vertically. So when they assess using the trivium, the solution is always to ascend, whereas the horizontalists will always be to move outwards in a linear fashion. But I would bring into question the whole landscape of the realm that we live, and the information that we're being given, or that what we're taught at school, is very limiting. Because, you know, if there was ways or places to escape to, I don't know about you, but I'll definitely be going there.
I would already be investigating it at least.
Yeah, so we're already and I don't think this is necessarily just education. I think it's more in our psyche. You know, if you visualize the realm where you live, you know, what visions do you have? It's generally
Do you know what you're making me think of? You're making me think of the Truman Show. Because in the Truman Show, Truman, through his whole life, had been programmed to be very fearful of water. And he lived on an island that was sort of sizable enough for him to have a community and not feel trapped. And he never wanted to leave. But when he did want to leave, the opposing force would turn on the storms and the wind. And, you know, and we're told that we can't go to Antarctica because of what? International treaties?
Well, there's bits of it you can go to, isn't there? They let you get.
I've heard that when you pay your 25 or 30,000 pounds to do your Antarctic expedition, I've heard from multiple sources that you basically go to the most northern tip of Greenland and you look at a piece of ice which is so big. Not Greenland.
Greenland is the Arctic, isn't it?
Sorry,
Argentina.
Argentina. You go to You go to a part of Argentina which is basically an ice sheet, which you can see that far that way. You wouldn't know any different. Because you don't know any different.
So if you look at, there's a lot of Argentinian. Mouth to the mic. There we go. There's a lot of Argentinian tours which do a little trip over to the peninsula, and you can see a variance of they've got like mini sort of ice mountains as such. So I think they take around those. But there's a.
But you wouldn't know any different because if you really went there, you get to the ice wall. What are you going to do? Get a helicopter and look above it? Because everyone's seen pictures of the ice wall.
You can also buy a round. They fly around the sort of the edge of Antarctica in a helicopter as an experience as well. You can, if you look online, you can book these experiences. Well, not at the moment, but you can book these experiences. They're not cheap though.
They start at £10,000.
Yeah, that's right. They make it pretty unachievable for the average person, really, for a little trip out.
I mean, sorry.
It's been made on going to the moon, going to Mars, space travel.
Absolutely, Lee.
And how much?
Lee, that's what the producers said 5 minutes ago. We're sending probes to the surface of Mars. When was the last probe that went to the surface of Antarctica and showed you pictures?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would bring into question, you know, what we're actually told with regards to the landscape. I think the way to navigate around this type of thing would be to research, to look at the information that they give us, because they always drop hints or clues, because that's the nature of the game. So. But I wouldn't take it as an absolute, whatever is presented.
I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, there's a lot of expeditions which don't make the mainstream news as well. So quite a while ago, there was an expedition which went there, and there was a team. Because going back to the landscape before I say that, it's forever changing. You think ice melts and reshapes, you know.
Yeah.
So this is one of the issues with expeditions. That's why they always go back and research the areas where they feel is the best place to be. So there was, I can't remember, I think it was the 80s. There was a guy who went out there with his team. The story was one of the team tripped over something because they were looking at an old place where they had researched previously, and was following up on someone's previous research there. Thank you, Lance. And anyway, so it turns out they found loads of different things. They found like a ball, like a baseball covered in sealskin, and a couple of bats. But obviously they were joking, thinking that they don't really think they had baseball back in those days. You know? On top of that, they found what they thought was a settlement, essentially. They found coins with unknown lizards upon the coins, and none of this was really documented, but it was in the Science Journal. So his studies, it is in the Science Journal. I don't know if you're able to pull it up, because it's a link or something to our group ages ago.
Oh, is that on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, but it's an interesting article. It's not a great.
If it wasn't for magic flooding that WhatsApp group, I'd have to pull it up right now, but I'd have to go through 550,000 pages of his posts There's a rabbit hole to find it again.
I mean,
Imagine
the
you need
thing
to
is,
get some
the
sleep,
point
brother.
being is they're always suppressing that sort of information. That's the biggest issue. You see, is the guys who actually make the effort to go out there, for whatever reasons, whether it's for their own scientific research or untoward reasons that they're doing, if they don't really talk to them, one of the things that can be said, there's a lot of ice caves there which are forever changing. So there's one particular hole which they've been looking at for a long time, and a lot of people who say this is an entrance. So a lot of these guys who think that they there's entrances into the hollow earth as such from Antarctica. One of the explanations for those holes could be the fact that ice melts, and if you have a pocket of air, which they found several pockets of air in lots of different studies of Antarctica,
Like geothermal vents.
well, not necessarily, just where maybe the ice has had a pocket of air in there, and it's heated up as it's gotten to as the ice has changed and moved and melted, that maybe the sun's created warmth inside that bubble. I'm not too entirely sure.
You need to turn your mic up, Andy.
However, I'll just speak into the mic. So basically, what they're saying is that these holes are forever changing because they're melting, and they've got photographs every few weeks from one particular hole, which was very interesting for the guys thinking there's a hollow earth, and that shows that it's actually melting. And it's not an entrance. And then when they send their little drone inside there, it's actually just a hollow cave.
So what we're actually getting at is that the melting of Antarctica could actually be coming from within,
possibly,
rather
because
than without.
the other thing they've also found is evidence of civilizations dating a very long time ago, up to 40 million years, is what they're saying on there.
40 million years.
Yes, I was gobsmacked. There's 4,000 years, 4 million years, and 40 million years. And they stack on top of each other. Because what they were saying is in the original maps, Antarctica wasn't ice. There was land there.
Yeah, and Magic's is coming with these maps soon.
These are the things that
you?
Magic's going to be able to back up on this. And it's a really interesting read when you start to rabbit hole around the 4 million year plus in Antarctica. You see that it looks like it was land.
Yep.
You know, and it was inhabited.
And we are going to have those. We are going to have those.
They found all sorts of different systems of life. Like, for example, money. They found money there, which was really interesting. You know, because we're to believe that money isn't that old. You know, trade for trade was the way forward. But if you think about the different generations of
so how old did they say those coins were that they found?
Well, they haven't been able to date them. And also there's very little information apart from the original report from the explorers that those coins were ever found. But he spoke about them in his science journal.
We've already got a comment here. These links that you're talking about, we have these links, but they're in the WhatsApp group. We'll put these up in the next break. We'll find them. We'll put them up.
Yeah,
guys, don't forget. We can always put these on the Rise Above Telegram page. Don't forget.
And riseabove.news. So let's change some banners. Let's get some.
Also, guys, don't forget tonight. Like, if there's any questions, put the hashtag ICE. Yes, then we know that it's a question.
The last question we had was about the Black Death.
Yes, we've got that here. So. Oh, racist.
No, he said the piss out of that guy that came on the other week and just called us all racist for watching Godfad.
Oh, come on.
What was the question about the Black Death we had a minute ago?
What the Black Death? Where the Black Death?
Well, I've heard that the Black Death. I've heard that the Black Death was spread through. You know, they said that there was the guys with the long masks. They were like the doctors of the Black Death. You've seen those pictures, right?
With the sage and that.
Well, there's an alternative story that they were actually seen before the outbreak happened, like spreading stuff into water and stuff. I mean, I'm only paraphrasing what I've heard. I don't.
The Black Death was rats, though, really.
Well, that's the official story.
That's the story. That's what. Yeah, I mean, and those the crow-faced masks were the doctors. So when someone was going to die, they would send. It's a very odd and dark thing, but they did it back in the day, you know, in England, in a lot of different places, they used to have these crow masks for the doctors to deliver the death.
Yeah, we've seen it. Inner Guardians, have you got any thoughts about this? Have you looked into any alternative ideas about what those plagues and Black Deaths could have been?
Not in depth, but I would apply the same thing that what's happening now. You know, we don't actually know anything about what's taking place right now. So what chance have we got of figuring out something that happened 100 years ago?
Yeah, it come back to first principles with you always, and that's why you're part of the team, mate. That's why we've got you here, because at the end of the day, if we want to discuss something, you know, no one can even agree what the pandemic happening right now, what the origin of that was. So, you know, to talk about something that happened before any of us were alive, you're absolutely right. It's pretty much conjecture.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But you know, it's still something. You know, knowing where you are, knowing what the situation is around you is very important. basic situational awareness. Let's face it, we don't even know the realm that we live in.
Yeah. The producer just said we saw a documentary that was testament to say that sort of like dark occultist rabbis were spreading pathogens in the water before the Black Death. That'll probably get me banned. But yeah, hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised if the same MO doesn't resonate throughout history.
It's the same. It's the same old. But I think, like
under the sun.
Yeah, like I said before, we're hitting a critical mass, and I think it's not a coincidence or it's not an accident that this is happening right now. When you look at the timeline throughout history, and with regards to the sort of capturing of the landscape, because the landscape affects the psyche. So most of the stuff that we can research or look into, we'll actually find how it's affected the psyche and the way we think, because we tend to think that there's nowhere else to go.
So it comes back to as with inside without. They're actually affecting our psyche by altering our perception of what the outward world is.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. I think that's a great introduction for what we're going to play next, because we're talking about like first principles. What is Antarctica? We've only been told by an infrastructure of dark occultist, anti-humanistic, pathological, lying, genocidal maniacs.
An indoctrination education system.
Yeah, that's the people that told us what Antarctica is. So, you just pulled the earphones out.
Don't worry about that,
you
mate.
Bumberhole. Oh no, the camera's gone.
Oh dear. There's trouble up there.
And there we
The
go.
denying. Oh no. Shit.
Hear me now.
Now there we go.
That's good.
We're good. We're good.
No, we've got echo. One, two, 1, 2. Oh my god. I apologize, everyone. Check. Okay, hang tight, everyone. We are back. Let us know how we're sounding. I apologize for that.
Technical glitches again.
No, the denying force is so strong. It's so fucking strong this week. Let me just while we just got everything good, let me just invite Omar Beats back in. But, we're not going to take it from the denying force. We're just simply not taking it. 1 sec. Bear with us, everyone. Just need to get Omar Beats back in the stream. This is how we do.
Here we go. Am I back on yet?
No, you shut up until I get this sorted. Just be quiet, mate. This is critical.
Saying you're going to be on the moment. Be quiet.
Right. Okay. Let me do that one too. Right. So we are back. Sorry, everyone. Let us know if we are back and you can sound this. It's all good. I apologise for that. Let me take that window over there.
Where were we?
We were talking about what is Antarctica. We were talking about first principles. And I was about to start sharing God Vag. 1 sec. You don't know how to do this. So everyone, what is Antarctica? Is it right? Can you find the God Vag over here, please?
Absolutely.
It's me trying to step back. But when the shit hits the fan, the general has to take charge because no one else knows how to sort out the stream when that happens.
Oh, look at that, Lance! I just typed in G and Godfather did not come up.
What? Why is it saying Godzilla versus King Kong? Right, God Vag.
Yeah.
Right. So, one of our favourite creators on YouTube, Galoj Vermast, aka Wim, is his real name. We're on first name terms. Me and Wim, we're mates. We call him the God Vag as a sign of respect, and he has got some alternative ideas. Go further down. It says Antarctica and the final flat Earth map. Right, guys. So the subject is, what is Antarctica? Let's establish some first principles from an alternative view. And this is why we have inner guardians here. First principles are what inner guardians? Why are they so important?
Well, it's your way to direct realism. Without direct realism, you're literally playing ping pong in a dark room because you've got information or disinformation that you can't verify. You can't put it under any sort of scientific process. So it becomes problematic to actually decipher anything. So you become deranged and deluded, living a life that you don't really understand. So that leaves the doors open for somebody else to tell you what to do. It's a form of slavery.
So basically, like you say, until those first principles are established, you are mentally and perceptionally the slave of the master,
imprisoned,
who has hidden the first principles from you.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's two types of prisons. There's the physical 3D version of the prison, and then there's the prison of your mind, or your perception, or your psyche. As without, so within.
As above, so below, and the first shall be last. Right. So let's establish, or let's have an alternative view of what the first principles are. Producer, let's share the screen and let's see what our favourite creator, Mr. Goj Vlamast, says about Antarctica. Run the track.
So, you want the truth about Antarctica? Fasten your seatbelts. Here it comes. Let's zoom in on the moon. The moon is the reflection of Earth. Not the little ball you have been told, but a gigantic Earth. And in one of these craters we live, the crater Sulpicius Gallus M. Probably you won't believe a word I say, but I will prove it to you within the next minute. Watch this. Take a freeze frame of the crater. Darken the image. Now let's make a 3D map. Watch the differences in height. Next, we take the official Antarctica map. Flip horizontally, rotate a bit, skew it a bit, put it on top of the 3D map. Well, for me, that's a match. But for you unbelievers, let's watch it in detail. Now, a lot of people won't believe this, but what are the chances that I take a random crater of the moon, make a 3D map of it that matches the map of Antarctica perfectly? The chances are zero, except when you know what you are doing. If you want to know how I got there, I explained it in my previous videos. To be honest, this insight was a complete surprise
Is
for me
that better?
too,
Let us know if it's better.
because I thought
Check,
there
check.
was no Antarctica. So both theories are
check.
true. You have the ice wall of the flat Earth, within the middle the
Guys, 1 2 1 2. We apologise. We're trying to pump up the vacuum inside the room. It's an issue with our internal levels. 500 subscribers to Rise Above Live. Big up everyone. This is God Vag, Antarctica.
North Pole, and you have the continent Antarctica. Only it is much bigger and it is not surrounded by water. There is probably no South Pole, as we are not on a little ball. Now I will look for the passage to get out of the crater. Someone who saw my video gave a reply saying that the symbol of Earth in the series Stargate was this. You can see the resemblance with Sulpicius Gallus M. Now I will give you some information about the Pillars of Hercules, because I think that is the clue to get out of the crater. For this, I will take Wikipedia. According to Plato's account, the lost realm of Atlantis was situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, in effect placing it in the realm of the unknown. Renaissance tradition says the pillars bore the warning nec plus ultra, also non plus ultra, nothing further beyond, serving as a warning to sailors and navigators to go no further. So, when the psychopaths tell you to go no further, you can be damn sure there is something beyond. So, where are the Pillars of Hercules? So, they tell us the Pillars of Hercules are situated in Spain and Morocco. Let's investigate that. Well, they seem to have the right angle in Morocco. In Spain, some people know it too. The Pillars of Hercules remind me of the favorite subject of the Freemasons, the Pillars of Jachin and Boaz. So, you destroy the pillars, the symbolic destruction of the gate. Sadly enough for them, that was exactly the event that got me searching for the truth. Later on, the Spanish changed their symbols into plus ultra. There is more. Columbus discovered the New World. I think the New World was not about the Americas. It wouldn't surprise me that Columbus discovered the passage out of the crater. Now, why am I saying this? Because when you look on the Antarctica map, you have a place called the Hercules Inlet. When you put that on the new map I made, you see the gateway of the two pillars. When you flip the map, you can clearly see the two pillars and the gateway. Another way to get out would simply be walking all the way out of Antarctica into the New World. Maybe the New World Order is not the New World Order, but the New World Order, the small elite that knows there is a new world beyond. The same people that made the Antarctica map. They know. So, in World War II, with the improvements of air flight, the Americans must have seen the bigger Antarctica, or the Germans, British, Russians, but nobody says a word. Why? That's because there are no Germans, British, or American. They are all servants of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire that slowly morphed into the Holy Roman Empire and the Vatican. Top of the military are the Templars. The Templars cross is everywhere. In England, Germany, the Vatican, Russia, and so on. All the elites are members of the Templars. And in the meanwhile, during World War II, they are hiding behind their neutrality in their hiding place, Switzerland, headquarters of the Templars, with their Templar treasure and looting the whole of Europe with their favorite criminals, the Nazis. After the war, the German people are slaughtered, and the real criminals flee to the US and the USSR, where they work on their new global deception, the fake space program. To the US, they sent one of their top criminals, Werner von Braun. There, he creates NASA, responsible for the fake solar system and the fake moon landings. Now I will end with this image. The eagle of the Roman Empire lands on Biosphere Earth, crater on the bigger Earth, and covers it with the acacia, symbol of the Freemasons. In the back, you see the little ball Earth, the fake replacement of the real Earth. You also see the number 11, the two pillars. They are manipulating our subconscious. There is a word for this whole story, and sooner or later, these people will get what they deserve. Thanks for watching.
Mute me too. So we're back.
So that's Godvag.
Godvag. Wow.
The Vag.
So there is our alternative view of what. Can you stop that, please? We've got another video playing. Apologies, guys. Where is that coming from? Oh my God. Where is that video even coming from? Give it here. Right, we don't know what that video was. Apologies, guys. So everyone wanted the Vag-tastic view of what it was. That's what Vag says. We have our other team members. Let's assemble the Rise Above team. Inner Guardians, Magic, Word Nerd. Welcome to the stream, Magic. Hello. Everyone hear us?
Yes. Evening, everyone.
Hey. Evening. How you doing? So, Magix, welcome to the stream. You've got a new profile picture this week, mate. Hey. Evening. How you doing? 1 2 1 2. We got rid of the echo. Right. Okay, everyone. Hello. Let me just get this right. Put that down. Yep. Magix. No. Right, Magix has muted himself. Right, okay, guys. So that's what Godvag thinks Antarctica is. He thinks that Antarctica is actually half of our frozen crater realm. We had a few comments in the comment section. We're not still muted, are we? Please tell me we're not still muted. We need to turn the mic up. 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear us all right. Let us know. Obviously, we've got some issues. When we play the video, we have to turn all the mics down. And then we have to sort of like, as Godvag says, we have to recapitulate. Yeah, okay, there it is. We're back.
Recapitulate.
Yeah, that's what Godvag, halfway through every video, he goes,
kind of
let
like
me
recalibrate.
Recapitulate. Yeah, recalibrate. So, Magix, can you unmute yourself and say hello to everyone? Oh no, he's just disappeared. In the Guardians, let's have your thoughts on Godvag's take on what Antarctica is. Do you think that is more plausible than what we've been told through our indoctrination?
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with most of what is displayed. It's quite interesting that that image looks like the yin yang. I don't know if you
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean that could be some kind of symbol or message that has been left for us.
We also had someone say that it looks like the Wu-Tang symbol, and it does, because in case anyone doesn't know, I've got that thing in the corner from Jizza Wu-Tang, and it's a crater. We all showed it. I showed that a couple of streams ago. It's on the front of his album cover.
Yeah, that's 100% the crater.
It is 100% the crater. So, Inner Guardian saying it looks the same as the yin and the yang. Godvag actually compares it to the left and right hemisphere of the brain as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as without, so within. So that the outer landscape may actually be more similar to the inside as to what we realise. There's lots of clues there for us to
So
navigate around.
the outer world actually mirrors the inner world. It's sort of like those. I'm sure everyone's seen those diagrams where they show like a microscopic view of the neurocortexes of the brain, and it actually looks exactly the same as like the nebulas of the galaxy.
100%.
The same as like a cell structure. It's all like, you know, it's as above, so below.
Macrocosm.
Yeah, the macrocosm, the microcosm. We're basically talking about the holographic reality. We're tangenting here, but that's what we do. We like tangents, don't we?
Yeah, but with regards to the landscape, I think that there is other places to get to, and the information that we've been given has led us to believe that there's nowhere to go. I teach people off-grid living, and for the most part, it's mainly the mindset, which I did mention on my social media this week.
Yeah. I've seen, mate, you've been a lot more active on the social media with your posts, and I always try and share them since you've come on. And I know we've energized you a little bit, haven't we, since you've come on here? Yeah, that's what it's about. With, like you say, right, the synergy of gnosis, Rastafari. Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, you say that the denying force is not something that is beating us down. It's something that can actually energize us. And anyone that's been following me on Facebook knows that halfway through last week, when I saw things really starting to happen, you'd have noticed I made about roughly 50 Facebook posts a day. Did you notice in the Guardians I was heavily commenting on the some of the 33 events that were going on in the news last week?
Yeah, well, it acts like a motivator.
It is.
Yeah, we see the reality. You know, the net or the grid is closing in, and you know, it's literally forcing, even for those that are not particularly interested, it's even forcing them to question things. I would say questioning force.
So the denying force can actually also be the questioning force.
Yeah. Yeah.
A catalyst, some would say, a catalyst for change, a catalyst for positive progression. Sorry for checking my phone. Clara's just said she sent me some money. Yeah. Okay, Clara, thank you very much. I've got your money now. 2 T-shirts are going out in the post on Monday. 1 black and 1 khaki, if I remember rightly. Remember, Rise Above T-shirts, everyone. Oh, yeah, shit. In the Guardians, Lee, I haven't sent you a T-shirt yet. I'm going to assume you're extra large.
No, about a large.
Large? Are you sure, mate? This is an extra large.
No, go for large. I've
sure?
been, yeah.
Have you been working out recently? Because they're fitted. Listen, if you're in shape, a large will look dope. I'm seriously out of shape at the moment, so I'm normally an extra medium, believe it or not. But right now, I'm rocking an extra large. Rise Above has destroyed my my physique.
I'm working on hard living, so I'm trying to get used to not eating much.
Okay. Oh, what, you're training yourself for the coming food pandemic, as Lord Schwab puts it.
Potentially, yes.
We got a question on the screen.
Also,
Sorry,
hiking across the Antarctic.
You reckon you could do it? Do you know who
We
man?
We might have to. We might have to.
Do you know one man that has apparently? Please, Jamie, this as I speak. There's one man that has apparently traversed the Antarctic on homemade skis, and his surname is Rothschild. Copy it. So we know that Antarctic. Back to the subject in hand. Antarctic has, as you leave Argentina and you follow the yellow brick road. Oh shit! That's another Godvad video. That's a different Godvad video about Antarctic. We'll play that in a minute. When you leave Argentina, there's a little archipelago that goes around. You come to the start of Antarctica, and you get to Rothschild Island. So there is one man, the youngest member of the Rothschild family. Share that screen, Andy PG. You need to go back into that screen to share it. Put it over there then. Right, David D. Rothschild. One of the pioneers was David D. Rothschild. At the age of 23, was invited to a polar expedition. No, that's a polar expedition. I found it. This guy, David D. Rothschild, he actually apparently traversed Antarctica single-handedly on a pair of skis. And he's not the only Rothschild to have an open invitation to do whatever he wants in Antarctica. Because obviously peasants like us, we can't go there. In the Guardians, you can't go there. I can't go there. These guys, they can do whatever they want.
Members of the royal family go there? Or do we know about that?
Oh, that's a whole other subject which we're going to come on to. Because what was it, in 2016 or 17, there was a massive expedition of delegates from all over the world. Bradley Golden, what's he saying?
I mean, the Pope went there.
Double LMC, if you can't afford to send me a free T-shirt yet due to your court fees. Oh, bollocks. I promised Bradley a free T-shirt. Bradley, I can afford to send you that T-shirt. Send me a message with your address and I'll post it myself. I apologise. Mate, it's gone crazy here. We've got the new T-shirts. Bradley Golden, big up all the Texas crew. So, okay, so we've got the first person here. Share that screen. We're just Jamie. The first person here to ever cross Antarctica was apparently an American called Colin O'Brady.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me good, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you, Magic. So have you got those maps ready? Because we've been talking about the hidden maps of Antarctica.
American called Colin O'Brady.
Yeah, happy birthday for Bradley, and tomorrow, is it?
Oh, tomorrow. Massive happy birthday to Bradley. Hang tight with the Texas crew. Hang tight everyone watching from the USA, outside of the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union, wherever you are. Big up. This is Rise Above on a Friday night. And we're talking about Operation Antarctica. Yeah, Bradley, email me. The T-shirt's coming.
So have you got the maps? Have you got the maps out of the group, or do you want me to?
Did you send them to me on Facebook Messenger like I asked you, Magix? Because I can't have WhatsApp on my computer. Do it right now. Magix, why don't you share your screen from that end? You've got the maps.
Yeah, let's do that.
Click share screen from your end, mate, and we can control it. Yeah, of course. So big up Magix. Right, Magix.
Through? My connection's a little
No.
bit funny.
I want you to share. Have you got the maps on your device? Just share your screen and we can look at it there.
Yes. 1 sec.
Okay. So, hey to everyone in the chat room. We're talking about like Antarctica. What is Antarctica? Is it really what we're told? A continent at the south of the world? Is it what Godvaj says? Is Antarctica actually half of our frozen crater? People that are subscribed to Flat Earth, what do they think? They think it's a surrounding barrier.
Yep.
Hey, listen, we're not in any camp here, are we?
No. Well, no. Oh, I am. I'm saying it's crater.
Are you crater camp?
Crater camp.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm 100% anything, but if I've seen one thing which I find most convincing to explain what is Antarctica, why are all the NASA stuff fake, why does Flat Earth movement have so much legs when it comes to the curvature of the Earth is wrong?
And it never gets censored.
Yeah.
They're quite happy to let that roll.
The bigger Earth.
The bigger Earth. So, imagine. Oh, wait a minute. In the Guardians, have you got a tertiary option? Remember, not primary, secondary. What's a tertiary option in the Guardians?
Well, I try to use third options, and for the third option, both realities are possible, which would then lead us towards like some kind of simulation. It's just like everybody could have their own personal sun, everybody could have their own personal moon. That's another one. That's a massive rabbit hole.
So what you're saying is if this simulation theory is real and the universe is a holographic projection, what you're saying is for each sentient point of perception that's experiencing the illusion, it can actually be completely individual.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Well, that's how a computer game works, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all to do with the rendering and the observed effect. So each individual will affect what they observe.
So let's put that into perspective, right? If you're playing online and you're playing in a deathmatch with 100 other people around the world on Call of Duty, for instance, the map that you are playing on collectively will be the same. But individually, what's on your screen, down to your upgrades, your downloads,
your perception,
your unlocks, and your own personal perception, it's going to be completely different.
Sure, individual.
Is that a good analogy, do you think, in the Guardians?
Yeah, well, here's one for you. Right. With all the research, that we do, have you noticed that there's always evidence to support every theory?
Yes.
Definitely. It's literally, it's like, is it this? Is it that? There's evidence for this. There's evidence for that. It's there's nothing that exists where it's like 100% absolute in this realm. It's almost like this realm is designed for kind of, I don't know, multiplayers or
multiplayer deathmatch.
Confusion of tongues will be another way.
Yeah.
Look
at this comment we've got on the screen here, right? Truth and nature, and I haven't seen a comment from there before. What they're saying is we render as we go. Now think about when you walk around in a first-person view 3D computer game, you can't always see Oh, that's what Human Vibration says. Wow. By the way, everyone, remember Human Vibration? She's coming on the show next week. Human Vibration is back next Friday, and we're going to be talking about what is space. Awesome. And in the Guardians, I can't wait for you to have a chance to sort of have a discourse with Human Vibration, because I put her right up there with you, mate. She is deep. I don't know if you saw that episode. She looking at the synthetic reality. She's a sort of a specialist in that. Yeah. So, yeah, render as we go. This is what I always said. When people say, "Is the Earth flat or is the Earth round?" This was my always as a sort of an understanding or an esoteric point of view. I always said that as an irrelevant concept, because at the end of the day, this is a 3D holographic reality which is rendered in real time from 7 billion points of perception to the horizon. That was my understanding of how the universe works, and I think that's what Woke in Nature is saying. We render it in real time, just like a computer game.
Do you remember a few weeks ago I mentioned about the entity called Elagua, who's red, half black? And
yes.
the sort of the mythological story is that he runs through a field and there's a farmer at each end. And once he's gone, they say, "Did you see the guy dressed in red?" He said, "No, I saw the guy dressed in black." And they ended up having a fight. But they were both right, and they were both wrong.
Well, isn't that about the same that we've seen in social media last year about the dress? Is this dress white and blue, or is it black and green? You know, the striped dress?
Yeah, I remember that.
Are we talking about the same concept here?
Yeah, it's you know, the double slit theory, where the observer can affect reality.
Yeah, the idea that observable reality is directly affected by a sentient point of perception, i.e., there's nothing there if there's no one there to see it. I think that's
they did this test, didn't they? They had a computer which should spit out ones and zeros, and then they had someone in there, and then it would randomly put out ones and zeros, and then they had someone in there, and they would focus their mind towards it, and then they would.
Well, the double slit was about splitting a light particle.
Yeah, I'm
in
aware,
two with
it's the observer effect.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you've got
someone was watching, the end result would be different.
Yeah, and then you've got the majority rule. So the majority of whatever is being projected will be the more permanent or fixed reality. And that's the game that we're in right now. We're in the thick of it.
Sure.
This could go either way.
So what you're saying is actually everything's up for grabs. It's actually about which side of the camp is going to collectively decide to manifest the reality that they believe in. Is that what you're saying, Ian?
Well, I would say that's where we are already. It's been like that. You know, that is
these dark occultists are the ones that are planting the negative seeds for the population to think of.
So you remember that meme which I posted 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and it shows like the dark occult table. It's like these guys are dark magicians. They're occultists. They're
projecting the world they want
through the media into us, and we're creating it for them.
Yeah,
sure.
So it's time to stop creating it, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's time for us to start creating.
And the only way you
the reality that we want
is to ignore the media and all of their bullshit.
And that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why Rise Above is here. And for all the detractors, all the people that give me hate online, is like, why'd you do a 5-hour stream, you self-absorbed twat? I do a stream for 5 hours because people on a Friday night want a table to eat from. And in the Guardians, this is what you said. Rise Above is a table. And on the table, we have a platter. We have a whole plethora of different cuts. The finest cuts of rabbit, whole rabbit, the fucking hind of rabbit, the loin of rabbit. We don't do rabbit whole. Vegan rabbit. You know, ethically farmed rabbit. We don't do rabbit holes here. We do the whole goddamn rabbit.
Just not rabbit from China.
Just not rabbit from China. And as we approach the second hour, before we go any further, and we invite Magic to talk about the pre-ice maps of Antarctica, in just a second, we're going to hand it over to Omar Beats. He's going to entertain us with another like 5, 10, 15 minute mix. Guys, take a break. It's Friday night. It's time to enjoy. Inhale some good vibrational energy. Inhale some sustenance. Inhale some knowledge. We've got Inner Guardians, Magics, Spoken Word, Admiral Bird, and the Rise Above team.
Inhale some ceremonial herbs.
Yeah, inhale some vibrations from musicians that are light occultists, not dark occultists. Behold. Big up Omar Beats. Bonnet, can you it's all good. Solo on the beat screen. Yo, yo. Sound right above Oma Beats. Double LMC, big up in the Guardians. Big up Magics. Big up Admiral Bernard. Friday night we're just rolling. Yo. Woo! Yeah. Wicked sound of the Oma Beats on the fader, buff. Big up Andy PG, big up Buffdon, big up the producer, the Empress. Hang tight Yoji. Big up Milsky Van Helsing, big up Chop the Dog, big up Graham B, Sasha English, Zero Dragon 14. Yo. Got to keep it, got to keep it, got to keep it moving, got to keep it bouncing, got to get my high grade by the ounce in. Oma Beats is mixing. Yeah, Double L's announcing. Double checking the measurement, write that shit down. Double checking the measurement, write that shit on testament. Lacement unto relevance, my lyrical intelligence, a new stage, a new development, and the everlasting race. Sound from Oma Beats as these rinsing drum and bass. Big up, bad up, better bass. Live inside the rise above HQ with taste. Yeah, I told the viewers a little bit different tonight. Coming up to the 2-hour marker. 143 people tuned in. It's Rise Above, baby. Bigger, badder, better. Listen, my selector. Word for word, letter for letter. Word for word, letter for letter. How you lot feeling? Fuck the Soviet Union. Down with Lord Schwab. Health Chancellor Gates, bun you down. Eternal hellfire. Even through the darkest Soviet winter, you never see me masked like a ninja. Oh, he wants the Dungeon Master. Bradley Golden, in the next break, I will do the Dungeon Master for you. Beware of the Dungeon Master, the evil, twisted, nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold, heart turns darker. Happy birthday, Bradley Golden, acts like the Texas crew. Double checking up, yo, I'm up. Seaside a bit of a rider, buster, one liner, Oma beats liner. Listen, 2-timer. Seaside up, rid of my rim. Who's that? Double skin. Light on Friday night with Rise Above and we be rinsing. Telling the truth is a revolutionary act, believe me. 1 for the ace, 2 for the spades. This is how a Rise Above session gets played. Oma beats. Holding it down with me, the MC double with that lyrical crown. We're coming on 1 for the A's, 2's for the spades. This is how a drum and bass session gets blaze. Rise Above HQ, running right through. Okay. Step. Yo, listen. Blank pages.
They come and go.
Okay.
I'm here.
Sound about with beats and double NMC. Rise above. Somebody rise above. Yo. Double checking the measurement. Write down shit on testament. Wait. It's like, hi there, nice to meet ya. It's double L, I'm a preacher. It's selector, to your selector. I got some things to teach ya. When you test me, lyrically beat you down with a verbal jungle sound. Oh my, don't fuck around. Live in Norma Town. Live and Rise Above. Live on Friday night. And we be coming with the vibe. Standard, no misunderstanding. MC double L's here. Standard, no misunderstanding. I'm crystal clear. Standard, no misunderstanding. MC double L's here and I've landed. Lyrical shit to be branded. Lyrically outstanding. It's a banger. Full capacity. On my beats. Shit. On my beats. Alright, how you lot doing? Big up Bailey Montblanc. Big up Kim Walker. Big up James Cole. Hang tight Bradley Golden. Big up the White Realist. Graham B. Sasha English. We're just rolling out on a Friday night. Rise Above. Hey yo, maximum compression in the frequency, we're stepping in, repping in, we're doing exactly what we're threatening, strong ties we're tethering, weak links we're severing, there's never been a better time to unleash. Yo, strong ties we're tether, weak links we sever, tries to go the world that we endeavor, believe, strong ties we're tethering, weak links we're severing, yo, we're endeavoring, over beats and double L, over beats and double L. Over beats and double L. Live on Friday night, Rise Above. Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you? You up next? You up next? Andy PG's up next. We keep it rolling. Yo. Who would have known? Omar Beats and Andy PG back to back, maybe. D-D-D-O-O-O-U-U-U-B-B-B-L-L-L-E-E-E-L-L-M-C. Yo, that's me. Letter clarity. Drop it. Verbal slightly with Omar Beats. Oh, shit. Rise Above family on a Friday night, something different. We got music, we got information, we got real, truthful, authentic reality. Strikes the walls of gold that we've endeavored. Yo, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Too many microphones, too many microbus. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Too many microphones, too many microbus. On the beats to tear it up. The most explosive matter is the sound you can't touch. It be the sound you can't touch. The most explosive matter is the sound you can't touch. Alright, let's get esoteric. Yeah? Listen, most of them could never hope to know, but the chosen few are getting so close. Closer to the gateway, the path didn't show, the road isn't lit. You weren't supposed to see it, so it's difficult to make way, but ways we be making. Our vision of this world is mistaken. When my skin touched the membrane, my mouth is displacing. I can't explain it. They told me I was insane. I knew I wasn't faking. You might talk about a struggle, but if you break it down to molecules of rubble when the world falls to pieces, left in the aftermath, burning ashes, the last machine's gone. The last computer crashes, it's the end of days. It's the end of our ways as we know it. If you're feeling sorrow, time to show it, chose to flow it. It's double L and I'm speaking. When the end of the phase comes, take heed of our teaching. Big up MC Manic. Because one folk's move and somebody get hurt. First established principles, splur. Rise above, baby. How's everybody doing? Pirate Radio, rise above. Big up Graham B. Big up Sim T. Oh, bang to rights, brother. Standard, no misunderstanding. Yeah.
Did you really think that I would really take you back?
Yo, big up Homer Beats. Up next, Andy PG. Rise above, we rise above, we rise above, extinguish fear when we generate love. Double LMC, yes, I rise above. Sound of Homer Beats, yes, he rise above. And Andy PG, yes, he rise above. Extinguish fear when we generate love. Extinguishing fear when we generate love. Extinguishing fear when we generate. Oi! Big up Andy PG, it's been a little while.
Did you really think that I would really take you back?
Everybody tuned in. UK, Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, USA. All around the Soviet Union. Listen. Welcome to the Soviet Union. Strap up on your mask, comrade, and start using them. It will protect you from the COVID pollution. Trust me. It's for your safety and protection. Welcome. Even through the darkest Soviet winter, you never see me masked up like a ninja. Yo. And how we doing on a Friday night? How you lot feeling? Andy PG. Industry roller. Oh shit. It's been a while since I said that, mate. I think everybody tuned in. We're having a little break from the realness. Yeah. It's Double LMC, it's Andy PG, it's Homer Beats. Big up Inner Guardians, big up Magics. Big up Admiral Bird Nerd. This is Rise Above. We set out the table. We take the rabbit. We fillet the rabbit to the finest cuts. We lay it out on the silver platter. It's time to feast, everybody. Yo, Ancestor Lancelot. Lyrics to make you, lyrics to make you. Ancestor Lancelot. Lyrics to make you dance a lot. Gonna use them every chance I got. So people, you gonna dance a what?
Did you really think that I would really take it back?
It's been a little while. Man's a little bit rusty, but still. Oh shit. Alright, here we go then. Now the war has started. Now the bombs have dropped. I always pack man with a bit of I can do the safety lock. We be some crazy days. We make crazy nights. Every tune he plays, every rhyme I write. Do we do for the honor? Do we do for the pride? We do because we're soldiers. In this war we fight. We fight for the power. Demonstrate our sound. Rise above. We're touching down. Is everybody loving it? Big up the woke realist. Big up Sasha English. Big up Corolla. Hang tight, who's that? Double checking the measurement. Write that shit down. Double checking the measurement. Write that shit on testament. Place for mental relevance. Rise above. Yo. Look into my eyes. Big up Milty Van Helsing. Hang tight Zero Dragon. Big up Lee Gould. Hang tight Sasha English. Are you liking it? Let us know if you want us to keep going. It's Rise Above on a Friday night. Andy PG double LMC. Yeah, Captain, angle the camera up a little bit. Bigger, badder, better. What? Bigger, badder, better. Listen, my selector. Word for word, letter for letter. When I was a kid, mate, I couldn't wait. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait to grow up. Now I'm kid. Listen, yo. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait to grow up. But now I've grown up, I wish I was a kid again. I've been around the block, I've seen the world is sickening. Feel like the Highlander, stood at the quickening. Is the flame still burning? No, it's still flickering. Please don't blow it out. People speak but they don't know what they talk about. So now I'm feeling down, I'm a doubt on myself. All the choices I've made, all the people I've hurt, all the games that I've played. Andy PG, live on the fade. It's been a while, Andy. It's been a little decade, hasn't it? Oi, Rise Above family history in the making. Industry rollout, aka Andy PG, double L. Yo. Shit. Friday night business. Live from Rise Above HQ. We're breaking it up. Big up Inner Guardians, big up Magic, big up Spoken Word Nerd. Watch as we attack this. Yo. Watch as we attack this. Swarming like arachnids. Watch as we attack this, swarming like arachnids. You might think you're heavyweight, but you could never back this. Yo, you could never back this. Watch as we attack this, swarming like arachnids. You might think you're heavyweight, but you could never. Andy PG, bring it up in the fade of blood. I could enter the mix of blood. Anti Bradley Golden, happy birthday, mate. Big up CK Kylie, Anti Ramen the writer, Andy Pandy. Feel the energy. Yo, bad boy baseball out the place, now who be getting down? Bad boy baseball out the place, now who be getting? Yo, bad boy baseball out the place, now who be getting down? Listen, original, Rise Above sound. Andy PG and double L up on the mic. Yo, I'm a lyricist, I'm not a street fighter. Yeah, double L is a lyricist, I'm not a street fighter. I want to take you lower, expand and take you higher, expanding up the cranium to levels. Who is the architect? Yo, who is the architect of all creation? The all-seeing eye can't see the change in my vibration, breaking through the surface. doing it purposely. Consciousness triumphs in the face of adversity. Strong sides were tempered, weak links were severed. Tricycles ago that we've endeavored. Believe, revealing hidden knowledge. Ancient clay tablets, clues to the creators of this world that we inhabit. Yo. Yeah, it's okay, E-Connect. We're not saying anything controversial tonight. We're streaming on both channels. Big up all the viewers on Double LMC and Rise Above Live. We're having a little bit of break from the realness. Hang tight in the Guardians and Magic's in the corner. Code Red, whoop, whoop. Yo, Code Red, whoop, whoop. Danger Siren song. Sound of Andy PG. Drop the bomb, mate. Soulful. Yeah. Yeah. Big up Industry Roller, Andy PG, hang tight on the beats. We're mixing up tonight. Live from Rise Above HQ, and so everybody tuned in. Stream 20. On Stream 20, you know, we come with something different. We've got a bit of music to break it up. Lovely jubbly. Very nice indeed, mate. Slash it English. Sometimes I do dream lyrics. Sometimes I just make them up. Sometimes they come in the dead of the night. Sprint towards the light that will blind us. Taking blows for minders. Trees and drops of moisture at the dryness. Tangent and cosinus. Never bowing to no highness. Rise above, we've got an army behind us. Sprint, 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 sprint towards the light that will blind. Open up the mind. Look inside to see what you might find. You get me, yeah? Let me say it again. Yo, sprint towards the light that will blind us. Taking plus remind us. Squeeze and drop some moisture at the dryness. Tangent and cosinus. Never bowing to no highness. I got rise above, an army behind us. Is that me jumping around? No, it was good. It's like he dropped a bomb in the middle of the mix. Rise above, we got the army, the army. Babylon is falling. Yeah, Babylon is falling. Danger, warning, danger, warning. Yo, nothing less than savage, damage that we're causing. Nothing less than savage, damage that we're causing. Sound waves with recording, audio rewarding. Yo, yo, Babylon is falling. Yeah, what time is it? Okay. 1 2 1 2. Right, get my camera back on as well. That's the control screen, yeah. Yo, yo, yo. How's everyone doing? Tune, big up Magix. Let us know how we're sounding. It's Double L, and I'm still emceeing from my point of the presenter. Big up Oma Beats. Let's invite everyone back in. Everyone's saying no sound. Sounds good. Okay. Right. Okay, everyone. Welcome back. Oh no, you want to play one more? Sorry, mate. Oh, we ran over. We ran over by 7 minutes. We'll save it for the next break. There's more breaks to come. So, can everyone hear us? Is that all good? Did you enjoy the little interlude there from Oma Beats? Please show some respect in the comment section. Right, can producer, can you invite back in Inner Guardians, Magix, and Admiral Birdnerd? Hello, everyone. Welcome back. The Rise Above team has reassembled.
Yo.
Right,
Very jealous.
Magix.
Very
you
jealous.
want to be here for the mix. In case anyone didn't know, Magix is the baddest garage grime 140 BPM dubstep DJ in the Southwest. I don't care what anyone says. Aren't you?
Big up, my bro.
Yeah, you know you are. He's an international producer as well. When Magix posts his stuff in the Telegram or Rise Above News, you better check it. Lee Gould, I'll do some Dungeon Master later. Have you got the Dungeon Master instrumental? Did you, Magix? Did you hear me bust your instrumental? It's at the start of that set. Did you catch it?
Yeah, I did. Where did you get it?
You sent it to Andy.
Did I send you
Sent
that?
it to Oma Beats.
Yeah. Oh shit!
No, you sent it to Oma Beats. You're losing your mind, mate. So, right, I've got your maps. Right, we're back in session. We're back to Operation Antarctica. The Rise Above team is reassembled. Andy PG, Inner Guardians.
Oh, you got to start the other end.
We've got to start the other end. Right, baby. If you could unshare that screen and go over here and start it back at the other end. I got it in the wrong order. So you go up. And down. Okay. That's the first one. Share the screen again. So Magix, you have presented some amazing slides about the history of Antarctica maps, right? Because let's face it, before that little break, we were talking about let's establish first principles.
Are we going Magix first, or should we do? Do you want to do the other one?
Well, I think you should do your one first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, do Magix first, and then because you're going to do Falklands afterwards, because this is the history.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Right, so Magix, what have you compiled here, mate?
So I had a dig into where Antarctica comes from in literature. So forget the modern day, what it is, where it is, anything about that. Just where it comes from through our literature. Who's recorded it? And
well, we've already covered that the cross and compass people, yeah.
Yes. So I don't know. Do you want to read a little bit of this, or do you want me to read?
we'll take turns. I'll start. The first mention of the mysterious land to the south is accredited to a Greek named Ptolemy, a Greco-Roman astronomer who lived around the year 100 to 170 AD. He thought that an enormous far southern landmass must exist in order to provide a planetary counterweight to the large continents of the Earth. This hypothetical region, which had never been seen, much less mapped, even had names. The term Antarctic, coined by Greek geographer Martinus of Tyre back in the 2nd century. Mate, Magix, you've gone to work, bruv. This is a much deeper level of understanding than we're going to just rip off Wikipedia. Thank you very much. Right, okay. Andy PG, carry on. Where do we get to?
So referred to an imaged area opposite the Arctic Circle and the 5th century, the Roman scholar Macrobius included in the southern territory called Australis, Latin for of the south, on his maps. Later medieval references to Terra Australis. Australia, am I pronouncing it right?
Australis, maybe.
Incognita.
Yeah. Incognita Australia. Is that what it's called? Incognita Australia?
Or unknown land of the south, would it translate to. Would elaborate on these ancient theories. The maps drawn between the 15th and 18th centuries often included it at the bottom. The considered first atlas of the world, a 15th century collection of maps, was where a lot of the maps containing Antarctica and its earliest forms are from. Theatrum Orbis Threrium, or Theatre of the Orb of the Orb of the World. The Orb of the World.
Wow.
Right.
So the big map that we all normally see, you showed it earlier. The one that we tend to see. We'll see it in a minute.
Move on to the map, please. Right, before we move on to the map, let's look at this illustration at the bottom. Right, Inner Guardians, I'd like your input on this. Look at the esoteric. I think we can actually zoom in. Can I have the mouse? We can zoom in on this. I want to zoom in on this particular illustration at the bottom here. Bear with me, guys. So we like to get details.
So this is the first page of the first atlas of the planet.
Here we go. Right, now I can zoom in. It's this image right here that I'm interested in.
Notice the two pillars.
Yes, this is why I'm zooming in. This is why I'm taking the time to zoom in.
There's so much symbolism.
Right, Inner Guardians. What do you see when you look at this? Is this is the people that wrote, that cartographized this map? I butchered that word. What does this, as the front page of their literature, tell you? Inner Guardians. I would like your occult knowledge, please.
Yeah, well, straight away you can see the twin pillars.
Yeah,
which is standing out, and then you've got the guardians that standing to the side, and then you've got the people below.
And the people below look. What happens? They look dismembered.
Yeah, self-slaughtered.
Self-slaughtered. Yeah, this is why I asked you. Yeah, so establish first principle. Self-slaughter. We talk about this a lot. For anyone that's just tuned in, can you elaborate on what self-slaughter is?
Yeah, well, it's a process that takes place primarily through the psyche or mentally, through various psyops and gaslighting techniques, where the end result is that you destroy yourself. That's like the ultimate crime.
Self-sacrifice. Yeah, so you're basically
based on natural
coerced
law,
into killing yourself. Yeah. So we've just chose to full screen this for a reason, right? Andy PG is just looking at the top stratus of this diagram. So we've got some sort of like
so there's two globes on there. One's got just a horizontal line straight through it, and one's got a cross through it, and there's the archway at the top.
Pillars of Hercules, anybody? So let's put it straight. This is the cartography. This is the symbology. This is the front page of some of the first people to
This is the very first. This is the very first atlas.
Looks like a grapevine here. Look, it's grapes. It's a grapevine on the arches there. There's two bunches of grapes, one on either side. You see that? It's a grapevine growing over. You see all this as well. Look at this underneath. Look at these.
What year is it?
1500s.
So this would have been the Google of the 1500s.
Yes.
This is
Google
dripping in symbology. Look, you've got one here with like some ointment or smoke or something like that, and then someone with a bush or flowers or something here. Yes, yeah, this dude's got a halo here. That's
So the halo, the fire halo, is the deity of the Masons.
That's
When
a
you
sun
see
god, yeah. It's a sun
Beyonce
god.
do her thing,
I'd say the male and the female here is the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. At the top here,
they look like the guy.
This could be a hermaphrodite at the top.
so you have the orb with the cross on it as well, right next to the person at the top.
Interesting. This is dripping in symbology.
Wait till you get to
over it.
slide number 3. So this book was created. If you go to the left a little bit.
Yeah, so let's just zoom out a little bit now.
This book was created by the guy on the left.
This dude here, Abraham Ortelius.
And he was a Dutch cartographer, and
Right.
he was like pushed into creating this by the person on the right.
So this dude on the right, who's that then?
He is a Gillis Hoffman, a Dutch-German banker. So the book was created in Antwerp. Hoffman was one of the richest men in his time and the prosperous city of Antwerp, trading centre of the Spanish Netherlands. So if you go to the next slide.
Yeah. Next one, sorry.
Here we go. If
Here
someone
we
wants
go.
to start reading from the top.
Okay, so 1 second. Right, so in a letter to King Philip II, dated February 29th, 1568, Fernando Alvarez de Toledo, the third Duke of Alba, described Antwerp as a Babylon, a confusion and receptacle of all sects indifferently, and as a town most frequented by pernicious people. 2. A similar sentiment was expressed by a Catholic monk, Brother Cornelius, who complained that the innumerable foreigners and heretics that transformed Antwerp into the Great Babylon. Another person of the historian, Great Master John Radesmar, the elder John's blah 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 he was the apprentice to Hoffman, and his sons include Daniel, who was I'm not going to try and butcher these names, guys. Who was the progenitor of the embroidered Dutch gentleman at somewhere
Nieuwerkerk, and the Grand Master of the Freemasons, John Bradenmarker the Younger. So the early mainstream maps that include Antarctica are for the very powerful group of people out of place that was being dubbed the Great Babylon. Does that ring a bell, anyone? Like the Great Reset? Let's get fucking word nerd back in here, right? Is this like reminiscent of anything that's sort of happening now? Like a group of like secret society dark occultists just got together and decided to rewrite history. So we get to the Great Babylon, and a group of men that are all connected to a mysterious heterodox sect called the Family of Love and the well-established high-level Freemasons. Magics. Mate, you could get killed for this type of information. You're going to put on the torture list, mate.
This is my words as well.
Yeah, by the way, everyone, in case you're wondering, this is literally, this is the original Rise Above material. Let me just put it back onto full screen.
There's quotes and obviously names and that. But
Yeah. But of course, we have to give you credit where credit's due. This is your original research, mate. So where do we get to?
You'll start to see a pattern with regards to the information. They're playing a relay race. So the planning is for the long game. So stuff from the 15th century would be passed on right up until now. You'll start to see patterns the more you look into this type of thing.
So what you're saying in the Guardians is actually cyclical. We're not on a linear timeline that's progressing from point A to point B. Are we actually on a circular, cyclical timeline that repeats?
Both.
Wow. Okay. Well,
another point to add to that: these are pre-Grand Lodge Masons, so these are technically before Freemasonry existed in our history.
Right. Okay. That's an interesting sort of advancement to the story.
So-
These are not Scottish and Yorkshire Rite Freemasonry. This is pre that. Yeah.
So the elder guy, he is not technically accredited as being a Freemason. His son, the younger, is accredited as being a Grand Master of Freemasonry.
Okay. Well, I'll carry on reading. If you could just share the screen again, please, producer. So hashtag rise above. This is original magic research. No, wrong view. The family of love was an apocalyptic sect that believed the end of the world was fast approaching. Founded by the prosperous merchant from Munster, Henrik Nicholas, aka H.N. the Heilige Nature, Holy Creature. Mate, I've never even heard of this guy. Holy shit. The apocalyptic element of their belief meant that adherents could live as members of religious communities because all religions and authorities would have been irrelevant come the end of times. Does this sound familiar to another sect? I'm going to say hashtag Sabbatean Frankism.
Seems like they're
It does, doesn't it?
Make it happen again.
Wow. Members of this sect were wealthy merchants, bankers, and religious influencers and authors. And one such member and another character in the Atlas is a man who printed not only the first 1570 editions, but the important expanded 1579 Latin edition with its bibliography, the Catalogus Actorium, Index Tabutarium, the maps with a text on the back, followed by a register and the place names of ancient times, the nomenclator, and who also played a major role in the marketing printing of the book, whose Ortelius friend and colleague, the French publisher, printer and bookseller Christophe Plantin. So we're talking about 15th century architects of reality here.
It's the two photos here.
I've never even heard of these guys, mate.
So have a little zoom in on the two
They all look
photos.
whoish. They all look like Sabbatean Frankists. Look at their face. Look at their beards. They look like
Look
Jacob
what he's
Frank.
doing with his hand. Look what Plantin's doing with his hand.
Oh,
he's got
holy
in it.
shit. Look, guys, give me that.
He's got a compass in one hand.
So
He's got his hand on a book.
So follow the
And
mouse
look what
cursor.
Grand-
This guy in bottom right. These guys, Grand Masters
at the top is wearing.
So remember that the game is played through signs and symbols. That's how the long plan is played out, is by connecting using the signs and symbols. That's what you got to look for.
So what you're saying in the Guardians, that's why this guy here is wearing the same get-up as Lord Schwab is wearing when we show those memes of him.
His best Saturnian attire.
This is Saturnian Grandmaster Adept Priest class attire. This is what we're talking about here. It's not.
Yeah, it's a replay.
A replay, yeah. So this is what you said in the Guardians. I'm sure you made a post of this. It's not the great. In fact, you made a whole video. Not the great reset, the great replay. Please expand.
Well, we seem to think that these resets is something that, or the end of times concept is like the end of times. There's been the end of times many times. What it actually means it's the replay or the reset. For those who have watched the Matrix trilogy, I think it was Matrix 3 with the architect. I mean, how does he describe, what he's done to reality or the Matrix? He's done resets.
Oh yeah, let's get it right. He had. Is this in episode 1?
No,
this
is number 3.
So
Number 3.
okay, so am I getting this right? In number 3, they said the first few versions, maybe 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 version of Matrix didn't work, and it didn't quite effectively trap.
What was the second one called? The Matrix Reloaded.
Oh no, we're not talking about the movies. But what In the Garden is saying is in the Matrix, the third movie, the architect actually insinuated that when they were constructing the AI, when it was constructing the Matrix to trap our consciousness, to create its batteries, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts were actually unsuccessful.
Okay.
Because the reality which they tried to replicate, and I'm paraphrasing the Wachowski brothers / sisters here, the reality they tried to replicate wasn't quite, let me get this right, comforting enough to make the symbiotes or the batteries actually believe they were in real reality.
Right.
So they actually recreated sort of late 20th, early 21st century. Yeah, they found the optimum level of reality where it was just comfortable enough, but just harsh enough to capture their consciousness. Am I getting that right, guys? Matrix fans, people in the comments, I think I'm getting that roughly right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Neil
this is
Jones,
why
the Great
this is why
Reset
you've got
reset.
the Great Reset accompanies the Great Awakening. They run side by side, and throughout history, this is not like the first time. It's happened many times. So you'll see literature and stuff where they actually thought it was the end days or end of time. Well, it possibly was for that particular phase before a reset. I was always taught from my teachers that humanity has received many genetic modifications. We've even had organs placed in us and removed throughout history.
Wait. What kind of organs?
Similar to the way it's described, and this could be purely sort of like an analogy or even metaphysical, that we did have tails. Now, this is nothing to do with evolution.
I've heard of this, mate.
Where the tail is placed is questionable, but it's more or less a way that we can, how do I say, show or communicate our emotions or the emotional aspects of humanity. So yeah, it's described as a tail. Some people say it's at the base of the spine. Some
In the
people say it's
Guardian,
at the base of the skull.
Like a receptor.
No, what you're talking about is actually official Darwinian evolution, I believe. Even I remember learning at secondary school in biology that one stage of evolution we were potentially semi-aquatic or lower level mammalian, and we actually do have an appendage which is a tail. And some humans, even in modern day recorded science, are born with a slight appendage coming off the bottom of their spine, which is essentially a tail. I've read that, and that's in mainstream science. So that's what you just said there. That's nothing alternative, nothing occult. That's mainstream science, mate.
Do we not potentially also have a stage of development in the womb as well? Sorry to cut you there, though.
A state of development in the womb. What exactly do you mean?
Potentially, where we have a tiny tail and it's a throwback. I thought that was official as well.
Can you pull that over here? Pull it over, mate. We've just got some Jamie images going on here, and let's just share that screen. These are actual humans which are born with a real tail appendage. I don't know if that one on the right is real, but these ones here on the left, these are real medical photos of people born with tails. Not all of them. Go back up to the top. I'm saying these ones, like these ones here. I think they look genuine to me. So, back to what Inner Guardian says. What stage of our experimental DNA altering caused this tail? Big questions.
Well, you're asking me the question, yeah?
Well, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, what would you suggest? I mean, you said from your teacher that this was left over from some past experiment with a tail. What kind of...
The tail has been put on, and it's also been removed, but the properties of the tail still remain. It's not a done deal with regards to the information with regards to tails, because it's, we can't see it. We've got no direct experience of it right now. So these are stories or truths or gnosis that have been passed on from teacher to teacher. But it is within esoteric circles that humanity at some point did have a type or form of tail. Like I say, some schools say it's at the base of the skull, like a ponytail, or others say it's at the base of the spine from the coccyx.
Could this be related to some of the biblical stories of people like Moses having little miniature half-formed horns? Is this related?
I would probably say it's more like Samson.
Samson was like a giant, wasn't he, in the Old Testament?
Well, he lost his strength, didn't he, when he had his hair cut off?
But so he's like a Hercules character.
It's probably more like the Avatar movie. Something along those lines.
We could do a whole episode on what that represents. Larry Gallus says the Great Fire of London, 1666, was a reset. Taxes and rebuilding followed, a major build back better. Larry Gallus kills it, and that's why Larry
every week.
Did he get that? Larry, did you get that T-shirt that I sent to the Philippines? I hope you got it. I gave him a free T-shirt because his comments were so sick.
I think you said the other week.
I'm sure he did. I always forget because I drink bubbly on the show. It's Friday night, but 1666. What is there? BBB. They reset taxes. They reset civilization because these guys writing these maps that we're identifying right here. This was the 15th century. And as we know from looking at people like John Levy and these reset researchers, that in the 1600s, there was a huge amount of fires. Not just the Fire of London. There's a large amount of plagues. Larry Gallus says, watch a movie about Charles Darwin last night, Origins of Species. all a common ancestor. Charles Darwin, was he an occultist? What are we saying in the Guardians?
I would say so, yes. But here's something to think about. Years ago, when they built a lot of these amazing structures or buildings, even like cathedrals, the people that actually designed them would never have seen them because it took longer than they would live.
Like 100 years or something.
Yeah. So these characters, they play the long game.
Intergenerational.
Transgenerational agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always said that to people. And what does that mean? How would anyone foresee or take part in an agenda that was outside of their generation? Well, here's number one. Take the esoteric, take the occult out of it. Look at the structure of royal families. They stand there and they hold the ground, they hold the fort for the generation to come after, and they have a sense of duty. Okay?
Yep.
There's nothing about, I'm going to live 100, I'm going to see that. They know they're not going to see their grandchildren, but they want to carry on the lineage. Well, that's on a 3D level. When you extract that out of it and you look on a macro or an extra 3D level about why a group of people would be perpetrating a transgenerational agenda, well, the other conclusion is what? Is that from their point of perception, they're not just looking at it from their lifespan.
Horizontalists.
Yeah. Horizontally.
They live on the linear. So you asked me the question, is it cyclical or linear? And I said both. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, we're living in a kind of multi-dimensional realm where you've got the horizontal and the vertical and the axis.
Do you think that's what's represented by the cross?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Let's be real. What you were talking about is quite very archetypal.
Yeah, it symbolizes the crossroads. Remember I said about the crossroads? This is why you should always pay attention at the crossroads, because that is where you can either... it's an opportunity to change your reality, or potentially your reality at the crossroads. It's symbolic.
Okay. Got a question on the screen from Chop the Dog. Where do we think, as a team, that Bezos is pumping all the money? So we're talking about hundreds of billions. We're talking about trillions.
Well, he's
Jeff
farming
Bezos
as well, isn't he?
Is he? Go on, Magic.
He's doing the same as what Bill Gates is doing with the farming land.
He's a big farmer too.
Yeah.
What?
He's
what are you
building
talking
gates.
about? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Building gates.
Yeah. Well, I've just seen
gates?
Sorry.
You said building gates, and I know what you're talking about. I'd like you to expand. What kind of gates do you think he's building?
Well, I'm just playing with the name of Bill Gates, and I had a bit of a download after last week, and with regards to Mr. Bill Gates, it dawned on me that he's actually building gates and portals,
and he wants you to be ill.
Yeah, be ill. But yeah, they're gatekeepers, and also they're controlling, which is connected with what we're discussing tonight. For me, Antarctica represents the biggest gatekeeping operation in history of our realm.
And that's what we're talking about. So right now we've got on the screen, courtesy of Magic's, some amazingly researched slides about the actual people behind the first official cartography of Antarctica. Have I got that right, Magic's?
Well, it's not the first cartography of Antarctica. It's the first atlas of the world. But what you're about to see next is what else they did.
Okay, so have we covered this one? I'm not sure we have. Let's carry on here.
Yeah, this one's done.
Have we done the bottom half? We have.
Yeah.
So Christopher Plantin, these guys are 1520 to 1589. Right. Next up, this is the next slide. So Magic's, explain what we're looking at here.
Well, do you want to just read that bit?
Okay. Christopher Plantin published and printed many interesting books, including Austerlius's Synomia Geographica, 1578. His critical treatment of ancient geography, later republished in expanded form as Thesaurus Geographicus, 1587, and expanded once again in 1596, in which Ortelius first presented his theory of continental drift. That's something we live with today. So Christoph's great work is one of the most important Bibles ever printed, very rare copies being held at the Vatican, surprise, surprise, and London, as well as small numbers of others, I would guess in the Smithsonian. So this is the Planting Polyglot Bible, Magics. Holy shit, I've never heard of this, mate.
So this Bible was written in, I believe it's 8 languages. So there's 8 copies of it. And to hold it is considered to have all 8 copies, which is the Vatican, Washington, and Congress Library. And if you see that red picture, that is in the Congress Library. And that is a dedication to
MI5 or MI6. that triangle symbol. It's almost
so can I just chime here? So all of these pictures, the producer, she's just pointed out that all of them pretty much look the same, as in they've all got 2 pillars kind of thing, or 2 people standing next to each other. So it's like
pillars of Hercules.
So excuse me. So what I'm getting from this, from my research, is that the 2 pillars represent the 2 brain hemispheres, and the coming together is like which was the image of Congress. Magic.
Do you want the red triangle? That's actually
so Congress, if you look at the word Congress, what it actually means, the word Congress means to come together. Okay. And so to me, this all symbolizes the 2 brain hemispheres coming together. So your consciousness being balanced and as one. That's what I'm getting from this.
Well, and this guy, all of these books around the edges. So this is the 15th top right, the 15th century, basically atlas of plants. So they covered maps, plants, religion. They covered pretty much all the topics, like the original
and it has
book.
you're saying it has, right? When you say Bible, let's get this straight. Is this like, when they say Bible, just an encyclopedia? Or does it actually contain like a rewrite of the Christian Bible as well?
It's they wrote it in 8 different languages, so someone could have 8 different languages versions of the.
But it's a copy of the Bible, right? But with this cartography included.
Yes, but these ones around the edges are other books. So they did. One of these is the origins of physics, modern day physics.
This is a great spot. Zero Dragon 14. It looks like the Star Trek badge. That red symbol that you've just looked at, the triangle one, it looks exactly the same as the Star Trek badge. It does.
Well,
very well spotted.
That's the roof of Congress Library. And if you see the picture slightly above it, that is Plantin's watermark to the compasses. And remember, he was doing it in that photo? In that drawing
yes,
of
he
him?
was holding the compasses up. Big up, Becky, yes.
Watermark. That's his watermark for his printing. Everything had that on it.
Well, he was one of the original high-level Freemasonic adepts that really changed history, wouldn't he, at the end of the day?
Him and the people around.
According to official history.
And he was also a member of the Family of Love.
In the Guardians, you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at this, and it's a bit of an overload, and I suggest everybody put on their metaphysical PPE to examine this.
Yes. Metaphysical personal protection equipment. That's what you're here in the Guardians.
Yeah, what you're kind of looking at is these are gates, these are portals for each subject.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah.
So every subject.
So
every subject.
From a Freemasonic point of view, we're talking about the twin pillars of Joachim and Boaz, right? That's what Freemasons call these 2 pillars, Joachim and Boaz, the left and right pillar. And but one thing I'm going to say is these images don't have the tertiary pillar in the background, which is quite synonymous with Freemasonic imagery. You move through the 2 pillars of Joachim or Boaz, you pass through the veil, and then you reach the synergy or the third option. Inner Guardians talks about this the third way. Immortal Technique, a very esoteric rapper, talks about the middle path. Same thing.
So this could be maybe symbolizing after that, after you get to the 33rd degree, you've got the enlightened degrees, the illuminated degrees after that, which are personal degrees, which go up to 45.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. To me, this looks like the gateway. This looks like a gateway to me.
That's what I'm saying. This may be a gateway to that. Maybe that's why you're not seeing the 3rd pillar, because if the 3rd
potentially,
if you go through the 2 pillars through the veil, then to the 3rd pillar. What I'm saying is the reason you might not see the 3rd pillar in this because it's after that. I'm just hitting
But
out just
also
speculation, pure speculation.
when you guys are talking about resets, this is a reset of everything from the same group of people.
I would say
And
so, yeah, for sure.
a lot of these texts are the sources of modern day herbology and modern day physics, all sorts. And yeah,
These guys are the architects of it, the progenitors.
it seems that way.
It's the full spectrum.
Yeah, it is the full spectrum of everything, and this is a bite-sized chunk of it.
Okay, right. So let's move on to the next slide. So this is let's just a recap. This is the 8 different planting polyglot Bibles in the 1500s. The cartographers of the world. This is like pre-Renaissance, right? Because Renaissance was the 60s.
The Bible is only the pictures in the 2 bottom left corner.
Okay.
And there's another one of it in the top center, but the rest of them are the one that's black and white, top right, is the field, the continental drift geography, the source of geography.
Oh, yeah.
Next to that, to the right, is the source of plants.
So you're actually saying that these are all the same documents. Each one of them is actually a different aspect.
Yeah, these are all different books.
But they're what? But they're all in different languages.
Yeah, some.
So to get the whole, so let's summarize this. To get the whole knowledge of this teaching, you'd have to read each and every one of these books in 8
these are
different
also
languages.
printed in different languages as well, and they're just
okay. So these are like eight points in a series of encyclopedias.
And there's also more than this. There was 122 documents that this company produced.
Well, I'm glad you managed to get into one slide, Magix, because we can't have 122 of these books. Holy shit! The Lord of the rabbit hole. Right.
Like Lee said, they covered the full spectrum when they were printing.
Yeah, these guys don't muck about. Like Inner Guardian said, that we're playing against master tacticians of a game where they've never printed the rule book. They've never even told us what the board looks like. They've never described the pieces. Rise Above Family, all us, we're lucky. We're sat here with our table and we're looking at the game. And we're
I don't know, mate. I'm looking at this. I'm pretty confused.
Well, it's different levels every week. But this was the analogy you gave me, wasn't it, Inner Guardians? We're playing against grandmasters and they've never published the rule book.
So this,
and they've given us a jigsaw puzzle that we have to figure out. This is why situations or opportunities like this, where we can come together and share knowledge and information, is very important because we're really up against it.
Yep. And that's why we built this table, to feast upon this knowledge. Right, next slide. So, Magix, what are these maps?
So these are the maps. So I brought up that original information just to give you a background on who gave us the maps that had Antarctica on. That's the background of the people, yeah. So these are the 2 maps from the world's first atlas to cover Antarctica.
Right.
The theatre of the orb. So that's that phrase again. So are they calling the orb the world?
That's
the
name. That's the name of the first atlas of the world. That is the name of it. Translated.
All I know is that on those 2 maps, Antarctica takes up at least 4 to 5 times the ratio level mass of any modern map. Can everyone agree on that?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the size of it.
So the modern day theory is that this was theoretical, that no one had actually been there, and
so even those Freemasons for hundreds of years with their cross compasses, they didn't know what they've been doing.
This is
no one knew. This is just making it up. They're winging it, yeah.
So they made it up to counteract the size of the landmass at the North Hemisphere, because they thought that's how it would work. Otherwise, it would spin out of balance. That's the mainstream story of how this map was drawn like this. Theoretically.
Okay.
So if it's been out of balance, then there would have to have been gravity present for the whole globe to be sitting on, yeah?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't need to be heavier at the bottom. Interesting.
Yep. So then we have top right. This is the original Greek map where the theory comes from Ptolemy.
How do you say it? Ptolemy?
Yeah. So
he was the first guy to theorize land at the south.
Yeah.
Do you want me to zoom in on that?
Yeah, if you can zoom in on it.
Okay, right, bear with me.
If you have a look at it, it doesn't
when we zoom in,
make...
we've got to do this.
It's not really Antarctica.
We zoom in. Right. Oh, it's the next one. Sorry. This one here. This is the Ptolemy map.
Yeah.
So Antarctica is like a band that covers the whole of the bottom of the Earth.
Yeah, but if you look there, you haven't got South America, you haven't got Australia, you haven't got loads of the Southern Hemisphere. You've just got that landmass.
And what year is this map from?
This is the it says on the first slide, along the Greek Empire, a long time ago.
Are we talking about before the last guys that we showed, the Freemason guys in the 1500s?
way before. Way before.
What, 12, 11?
This is the first world map. This is the first world map. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in the comment section, if anyone can tell me when the Ptolemy map, this first world map, was written
It says it on the first slide. It says it on the first slide in the first paragraph.
Right, we'll keep in this view if we need to go back to the first one, because we need this this zoom in view, because these slides you made are super detailed, mate. Big up Magics. Okay, back to the first one. So Ptolemy map. The zoom out thing is down here. That's
to number 14. Number 14.
Number 14.
So yeah, he lived around 100 to 170 AD.
AD. So in the year 100, the year 200, this Ptolemy guy, an ancient Greco-Roman astrologer, he was the first one to write that map. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the next one down.
Next one down is Marinus of Tyre. So he again is supposedly a theoretical map, and that bottom massive sausage is Antarctica.
Right.
And this is
just going to zoom in on that.
This is a digitized version, so this isn't exactly to it, but this is how he describes it. How he describes the world.
Wow, it's like a massive sausage at the bottom of the Earth.
Yeah. And that's 40 AD. So that's pretty damn old.
Whoa! This map was made in the year 40 AD, apparently, 7 years after the death of Jesus, according to official history. If Jesus died at 33, as we're led to believe, that's mental. So, how have these maps changed? Wait, go to the right.
To the left, sorry, is just a map I found. I haven't got much about that, but that bottom bit, that's Terra Australis, that's Antarctica. But
wow! So that's a whole barrier down there, and then we've got all the landmass up here. So the reason we're looking at this, these are historical maps of apparently what Antarctica looked like before it was covered in ice.
Yeah, look at the giant fucking hole.
What's the hole?
Yeah,
is that holy
that's
shit?
South America. That's South America.
Zoom right in on that. I don't care. Let's have a look at that.
I haven't got no background on this map, but I thought I'd throw it in there because it looks interesting.
Wow. Okay, mate, you found some real gems here. Big up Milks to give Van Helsing. Hangs out everybody in the comment section. We are looking into the history of Antarctica. What is it? How is it cartographed? How is it documented before our Wikipedia version of reality? That's what we're basically talking about, isn't it?
John Levy would love these maps.
Oh yeah, John Levy will be all over this. In the Guardians, have you got any thoughts about how all of these maps could be so different over periods of hundreds of different years? Seemingly, the earlier ones can look so accurate. 700 years later, they can look like garbled rubbish. What's going on here, in your opinion?
Well, they're just models, aren't they? They're just renditions of
ideas,
some form of primitive, or not so much primitive, but old forms of mapping. But it's no different to what it is now. Personally, I don't believe the map that we're shown of today's world is as it is. I think it's nothing like it, potentially.
I would agree.
So, are you saying that the map is wrong? Are you saying the shape of the realm is wrong?
Pretty much everything.
Well,
I think they're hiding our reality in the 3D, for starters.
I think that's something that we can definitely all agree on one level or another.
Yeah, and this is why Antarctica is such a mystery. I would suggest that there's something to hide.
Oh, well, I think we're going to suggest there's probably a lot to hide, and that's why we're not really coming to any conclusions here. We're asking a lot of questions.
I mean, I'm going to come to a conclusion.
Go on.
Antarctica is the one sole thing in history that every single nation can agree on.
In what way?
That nobody goes there. Nobody can have all of that, you know.
Well, you say nobody goes there.
Yeah, off limits to civilians. I mean,
Yeah.
every nation will not let you go there.
The Rothschilds can go there.
Of course, yeah, but they're not
David
civilians. They're not
Rothschild
civilians, are
David
they?
Rothschild can just
They
see
own
across-
civilians.
Yeah.
Has anybody compiled a list of official visits as to actually who's been there?
Well,
if we had
from
time,
all I
that's what
can
we've done
tell,
this week.
the
I
only
feel-
people that are allowed to go there are high military personnel and high-level Freemasons.
Right. In the
Barack
next break,
Obama as well, apparently.
We
Okay,
have to do,
so
we
before-
have to do Antarctica Part 2 anyway.
No, right. What we're going to do in the next 15-minute break, we're going to key up all the high-level delegates that visited Antarctica. I think it was in 15 or 16. Yeah. Right. So, Word Nerd and Magix, key up that information, ping it to me, because in just a minute we're going to go to another Mixer and Oma Beats because we're approaching we're into the 3 o'clock hour and it's Rise Above. And remember, tonight it's Friday night. We're breaking up the stream with our Antarctica chat with music from the one and only the selector, Mr. Oma Beats. He's back inside the place. And yeah, we're going to do a bit of Dungeon Master, a bit drum and bass first. He's going to rinse some tunes. Pick up everyone tuned in. It's Rise Above. We have Inner Guardians. We've got Magix. And we've got Admiral Bird, a.k.a. Spoken Word Nerd. This is Rise Above. How you lot feeling? Hit the microphone there. Right. Okay. Let's have some tunes. I'm a Beats. Roll with it, please.
I walk these streets and wash away my tracks. Feel like I fall right through these paving cracks. So the moment rains, but I won't drown. Just hold my head above the water. All your sons and daughters. I guess it's time for me to face the facts. Oh, I could fall right through these paving cracks. So I'm walking, not turning back. So I just keep on treading water for all your sons and daughters, daughters. Keep on treading water for all your sons and daughters. I walk these streets and wash away my tracks. Feel like a fall right through these paving cracks. So morning rains, but I won't drown. Just hold my head above the water for all your sons and daughters. I guess it's time for me to face the facts. So I could fall right through these paving cracks. So I walk around, turning back. So I'll just keep on treading water for all your sons and daughters. I will be weightless and just walk down on the water. All your sons and daughters.
On the beats, Anti the Rise Above family. Loving the tunes, Anti Daisy Roots, Anti Graham B, Larry Gallus, James Cole, Mr. Wellster, Sanchez UK, Andy Pandy, Neil Sun, 108 Dragon 14. Yo, we're coming on twice, 3 times slick. Hit the rhythm roll like a Chevy, time too heavy like a brick. With some accelerated tempo, pull my lyrical switch. Jump around with a stick and it's standard man, but busted quick and might be sick on the afterburner. Feel the need for speed, crashing through some barrier. Get hurry up, with siege, the camera, get damager, speedometer, get breeze. The rubber break your terminal MC, get frequency, please. We be quick but lyrical, please. On the beats on the stage, finger on the fader, brethren, come with it, man. Woo! Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. On my beats and double LMC. Yo! Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Is it really real or is it fantasy? Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. On my beats, I'm Mr. Double LMC. Rise above HQ. Sorry, bro, I knocked it. That was my fault. Oi, oi. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Sound of all my beats and double NMC. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Each and every Friday night on YouTube scene. Rise above family. Outside the USA crew. Outside the crew in the Philippines, big up Larry Gallus. James Cole, Mr. Wellster, Sanchez UK. Outside everybody. Yo. Rinsing out on the Friday night, raising up the temperature, rising up the vibration. All across the Soviet Union nation. Big up Andy PG, Anti Buffton. Own the beats on selection, double LMCs, Rise Above. Rise Above live on your Friday night, share the stream. We're mixing up with music, keeping it tight. Anti everyone in the comment section. See the new comments then. New comments. Big up Arthur Watson. Yo, when I step on the mic, MCs get prang. Like Wu-Tang, fatal flying guillotine, razor sharp slang. It's all good, I'm not Aggie, don't wanna see double L act like a chabby. I prefer to use my savvy, crack a smile, I feel happy. It's all good, I'm not hood. I tell the Rise Above family. Sound of Oma Beats live in the mix. Oma Beats just like this. Once, twice, 3 times slick. Sound of Oma Beats and he be live inside the mix. It's Mr. Double LMC live like this. Can you turn the mic up? Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. All mics are low and muffled, really? Yo, double checking the measurement. Write that shit on testament. Laced with untold relevance of my lyrical intelligence. A new stage in new development. A new stage in new development in the everlasting race. A new stage in new development in the everlasting race. Bad boy sound of Oma Beats. He's rinsing drum and bass. Let me know if the mics are all right now, yeah? Hang tight, Andy Pandy, Larry Gallus. It's Double L Oma Beats live inside the house, baby. Yo, we got to keep it moving, we got to keep it bouncing, we got to keep it moving, we got to keep it bouncing. Oma Beats is mixing and Double L's announcing. Live inside the housing, we're tearing down the housing, shaking out foundation, rinsing out the station. Live inside the housing, Double L's announcing and Oma Beats mixing. Time to get your bits in. Oma Beats is mixing, time to get your bits in. Finger dab in the fader, mic it out of the mixer. Time to give you flavor. Live inside the Rise Above. Rise Above. extinguishing fear when we generate love. Yo, extinguishing fear when we generate love. We rise above. Oma Beats, he rise above, rise above. An MC double L, we rise above. Yo, a single, listen. A single candle lights up the darkness. That is the power that we all harness. Yo, light them up and sight down targets. Mr. Oma Beats, double L and C live inside the place. It's a little bit of liquid. When I was a kid, mate, I couldn't wait to grow up. I couldn't wait to be big and see what life would throw up. But now I've grown up, I wish I was a kid again. I've been around the block, blood, I've seen the world is sickening. Feel like the Highlander stood at the quickening. Is the flame still burning? No, it's barely flickering. So let's not blow it out. People speak but they don't know what they talk about. So now I'm feeling doubt. Am I doubting myself? All the choices I've made, all the people I've hurt, and all the games that I've played. Oma Beats your blaze. Oma Beats your blaze. Oma Beats your blaze. Once, twice, 3 times phased. Yes, rise above. How's everybody feeling? What we saying? 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Yo. My name is Double L. I'll be a drum and bass rapper. Bigger, badder, better. Listen, my selector. Oma Beats is live inside the center. Rap, bigger, badder, better, double L come. Bigger, badder, better, bass and drum. Bigger, badder, better. Listen, my selector. Oma. Standard, no misunderstanding. MC double L's here and I've landed. Yo, listen up, I said standard, no misunderstanding. MC double L's here. Standard, no misunderstanding. Rise above, we're crystal clear. Bigger, badder, better. Live inside the center. Oma Beats is my selector. Fingered up in the fader. Mic it out of the mixer. Oma Beats, rise above with teacher. Welcome to the lecture. Take precaution as you enter. You bite into the apple with that razor dab at the center. Mic defender. Oma Beats, bruv, finger. Yo, listen. Welcome to the lecture. Take precaution as you enter. You bite into the apple with that razor dab at the center. Mic defender. I leave pretender looking for the denture. The time to fight the underdog. Number 1 contender I invent. Started making MCs discontent. Descent beneath the surface cause astonishment. Hellbent on inflicting lyrical bewilderment. Circumvent my path to stage you I can really represent. We saw beneath the surface. Start the war on purpose. Battleground be dirty. Oma Beats be dirtless. Saw beneath the surface. Start the war on purpose. Holy shit. Double L, I'm about to hurt this. Yeah. It's been a while, Captain Buff. Spud me, brother. Been a little while, mate. It's been a little while. Somebody wanted Dungeon Master, Lee Gould, yeah? You know, we got many different styles. We've got drum and bass, we've got dubs, we've got breakbeat, we've got hip hop, we've got grime, we've got garage, everything. He wants Dungeon Master, doesn't he? After this one, Dungeon Master next, and we get back to the chat. Hang tight, everyone. Share the stream, reaching out on your Friday night. Rinsing out the station, shaking the foundation from ceiling to basement, shaking the foundation from ceiling to basement. It's standard, my statement is blatant, blank pages, open mics and dank stages, a big rig sound to wake your neighbors, heads are nodding too close to the basement. Yo, there's heads are in for a pasting, my DJ's going in, he's not waiting, the bouncer at the door is frustrating. Holy shit, it's a big thing. Yo, hi there, nice to meet ya. It's Double L, I'm a preacher. You selector, to your selector. I got some things to teach ya. When you test me, lyrically beat you down with a verbal jungle sound. Oma Beats, he don't fuck around. Yo, big up Lee Gould. You want some grind? We got to switch up to 140, Oma. It's unpredictable the way I spit these lyrical messages through avenues and terraces. You ain't down with us, I'll be your nemesis. I shake your brain inside, just go until you need a therapist. It's time to admit, oh, it's me, sorry. We got the bouncy floor here. It's not Oma Beats, his mixing is spectacular. I can't help but bop on the floor, mate. Big up everyone tuned in. Yo, it's Rise Above, it's Friday night. Hang tight, everyone. UK, Australia, Canada, US. Oh shit.
Born into a life of suffering. A tortured soul. accustomed to horrific pain and from the age of a mere infant. His mind fermented with perverted pleasures, sick and twisted desires. There was only one place that could satisfy
I gotta
his
remember this.
insatiable lust
The
for
Dungeon Master.
agony. Only one profession that could truly cater to his torture.
Sound of Overbeats and Double NMC live inside.
So he sought the dungeon,
and he became
the Dungeon Master.
Ominous crowds from shadowy corners, acrid breath on my neck feels warm. Trapped with a monster deep in the dungeon and one with the darkness, my true form. Deafening screams, echo chamber, cries of anguish, narrate the night. Devilish fiends, no movie trailer, darkened hearts stay far from the light. Growling demon taunts me relentless, calling cries, calling empress, howling heathens, calling endless. Ritual torture, forms the nexus, futile. Escaping the pain is brutal. The crusades in vain to be truthful. It's fight or fighting is crucial. I survived this night. Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted nightmare crafter. Yo, blood drips, the good of the dirt. The Dungeon Master.
Beware of the dungeon.
The Dungeon Master.
Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold, heart.
It's dark in my dungeon. Around every corner the evil's abundant. Hope is redundant. Treacherous beings spread the dysfunction. They feed on your soul. With their lunching and bleeding, they go to prepare for consumption. It's the ravenous huntsman. Right arm hold your carcass triumphant. Blood drips, congealed on the bird. Forged with blood and you're feeling the hurt when the carnage occurs. Within the demon speaking and hang on his words. Mesmerized by the evil inside. Hypnotizing all people alive. Energizing the feeble device. Life in the dungeon's extremely deprived. Life in the dungeon's extremely deprived. And Oma Beats is live on my side. We got legal inside the ride. This is Rise of Bob on a Friday night.
Beware of the dungeon.
Beware of the Dungeon Master.
Beware of the dungeon.
Beware of the Dungeon Master.
Beware of the dungeon. Dungeon Master.
Let's go for the part-time crafter.
Blood runs cold, heart.
Images hitting us. Rapid images hitting us. Rapid images hitting us. And again. Yo. Rapid images hitting us. Text hitting us. Scripted tearing in flesh. Even a living equivalent. Goodness and wickedness kills for this. The various passages written for them. Including a savages in this demand. Deep in the dungeon, timing your friend. Right on that family, we do it for them.
Beware of the dungeon.
The Dungeon Master.
Beware of the dungeon.
Almost. The Dungeon Master.
Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted nightmare crafter.
Blood runs cold and hearts are faster.
Beware of the dungeon.
The back of the face.
Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold and hearts are faster.
Heart runs cold and blood turns darker. Get the stand collar. It's too high. Okay. No. Yeah, pick up on the beats. If we just slow it down then I apologise. Pick up on them. Thank you very much, Emma Beats, for listening. Pick up on the beats, everybody. Keep on that song. Live inside the studio, we're riding to the jump, check this up. On my beats, in the corner. Warn you. Right, let's get this one next. So we're back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the music. I went into it.
Right, I apologise if we distort at the end. When Omar Beats gets on the decks, it's obviously a massive rinse out. He cranks up the volume. We start bopping out. I start bopping around. The decks are moving all over the place. The sound is skipping. Welcome back in the Guardians. Welcome back, Blackets.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? I think you've got microphone problems.
Yeah, you guys sound mad.
What's going on? And the Guardians, can you speak? Go study history.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
coming
can you
through
hear me?
really bad on your studio.
Okay, guys, all the sound is fucked. Right. Right.
We
Studio
sound
down.
good. Yeah, bud.
Magic, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you clear as day.
Yeah, same as.
So yeah, what's your thoughts so far on all of that then, Lee?
Well, I'm more like esoteric, so I'm kind of focused more on internal workings rather than external things. But there is a link.
How are we sounding? Can I have some update on how we are sounding?
Once we're back on.
Lance is trapped in the music. Yes, I am. Andy PJ, pick up the microphone. How are we sounding, guys?
Bad.
I think they've been trapped. They've been captured into a different dimension.
They have been captured.
Right, okay. In the Guardians, can you hear us? Magic's in there.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's really bad quality.
Oh, what is going on? In the Guardians, it's just some nasty sound. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So this is
It's your end, guys. It sounds sweet.
No. Oh no, in the Guardians, that's Magic. No, that's Magic. In the Guardians, can you speak, please?
Yeah, I can just about hear you.
No, you've been absolutely nuts by the Soviet Union. We need to get any Damn. Right, we need to remove that as well. Okay, guys, can you hear me and Andy PG? Andy PG says, oh, I think everyone's so distorted as fuck. Is everything distorted? We need to get this right, guys. Mike and Leah Dex. Okay. Right, okay. Yeah, but you're at the stream now, mate. Is the sound sorted yet? You guys are behind. Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. It's not. Okay. Right. It's really muffled. How do we sort this out? Okay. There's only right. We are back. This is just me and Andy PG. Please let us know that we are sounding okay because we cannot continue. Captain Boston says we're sounding bad. Oh shit. Nothing right. Okay, let me do this. Is this better? This is just me and Andy PG's mics. That's insane, mate. We are out. Right, it's just me and Andy in the stream and no other inputs whatsoever. We need to know if we can sound okay. No, we're sounding bad. Shit! What are we going to do? Got to restart, guys. You know how to find us again. We're just going to have to restart the stream. I apologise. There's only one way to do it. Tune back into Rise Above Live in 2 minutes. We'll have to just end the stream. Right. Okay, we're going to try that.
One, two, 1, 2. Is that any better?
I'm sounding there.
No. Any different?
No. Wow.
Okay, we've got to finish the stream, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Please tune back in. I apologise massively.